Hello. Hi. Sorry. Some issues were popping up. There weren't really power outages, but the lights were flickering a little bit earlier, and I think that messed up the internet a tiny bit, so I had to go fix that. Hopefully it should be all good now. Hopefully. It's good for now, so I'm gonna remain hopeful. We're gonna be playing Ace Attorney. Yeah. I'm impatient, so we're just gonna get right into it. Hold on. Yes. Oh yeah, this is happening. Let's go. Where we last left off, Soseki-san is in jail again. That's it. Let's just jump right into it. The Old Bailey. This place always makes me feel strange. I seem to get chills down my spine and break out in a nervous sweat all at the same time. Well, I didn't think I'd be back here so soon. That's my line! Ah. Good morning! Ah, good morning, Mr. Natsume. It was only 2 days ago that I was declared not guilty here. Yes, you somehow managed to prove you didn't stab Miss Green in the back. But now this! Another morning, another murder, and here I am again in this hellhole! Can't keep coming to court! I'm beginning to think he's right. It really does seem as though he's cursed. Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid I have bad news. Oh! Mr. Natsume, good morning. Yes, morning. So, here we are again. Yes, again. Do you like my outfit? Judicial Assistant Miss Mikotomo Esquires, what's the bad news? Oh dear. You heard, did you? If you come in shouting at the top of your voice, people can't help hearing what you say! Oh, I am sorry. You've done nothing wrong, Mrs. Sato. Now, what is it? Well, it seems that the prosecution in today's trial will be led by Lord Barrack von Zeeks. Von Zeeks? God! Oh no, no, no! Oh boy, this guy. The so-called Reaper of the Bailey. The most legendary prosecutor in the land. In the trial 2 days ago, he pursued Soseki-san and I relentlessly. Of course, by the skin of our teeth. We managed to pull through, but still. Stinky. He is stinky. Perhaps Mr. Natsume's acquittal in the last trial wasn't the end of the matter after all. Yes, I know what you're thinking. The legend of the Reaper that says, nothing can save a person in the dock when Lord Von Zeeks is the prosecutor. Oh no! But even if that person is found not guilty, the accused will meet a mysterious end, one way or another. I hate him! I hate him! Don't call him my fave, I hate him! Ugh. And we've experienced it firsthand. Begorra! Haven't we successfully defended met the most terrifying end after his acquittal right here in the Old Bailey? Do I have to put up with those ice-cold eyes boring into my soul again? Cursed by evil spirits and now by the Reaper! Pair of petrifying perils, potentially! Well, if it's potentially, at least you appear to have hope, Mr. Natsume. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire!
Ah, yes?
I'm innocent! You have to believe me! You more than anyone now. Don't worry. I'll be your steadfast ally every step of the way in this battle. I promise. And this promises to be a hard battle, I fear. Well? The trial is scheduled to begin shortly. We should move into the courtroom. Let's go! Oh, yes. I forgot to say. I'm afraid he won't be able to make it. Mr. Sholmes, I mean. That's probably for the best. Oh! If he were here, I might be tempted to rely on his help. And that could be seen as a weakness. If Lord Van Zeeks were to notice, he'd prey on it mercilessly. At least, that's my gut feeling. Mr. Naruhodo. You're right. Yes, you're so right. Oh, well said, Locum Student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, well said! I swear on this sword at my side, and on the spirit of Kazuma that it harbors. I'll show him what a Japanese lawyer can do. I'll set you free. With honor.
Oh, yes! Hey, attaboy, Ryunosuke, that's how you do it! Yeah, that's our boy!
I am not looking forward to seeing Van Zeeks. I will say that. Oh! In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. Oh my fucking god! The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready, my lord, and I'm in a much cooler outfit. Readiness for the trial, my learned Nipponese friend, is not what the defense needs. What you need is readiness for your inevitable defeat. Luz says what? It's not just in my imagination. It's really there. Lord Van Zeeks has such an animosity towards us Japanese for some reason. It was some time ago now that he first became known as the Reaper of the Bailey, I believe. These past few years, he hasn't appeared in court at all. Yet now, he's back in the courtroom, though for some reason, only when I'm defending. This Reaper, with his curious disdain for us Japanese, is a prosecutor shrouded in mystery. Still, this isn't the time to be pondering that. I have to concentrate on Soseki-san's trial.
Well said!
Furthermore, I now call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You have been chosen at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to fulfill your duty? Absolutely! I had a feeling this larrikin wasn't innocent before.
I must say that I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat refuses to sit right.
Oh, well, I rather like how you were wearing your hat. I think the ruthless look is rather fetching, actually. Oh, you're new. I need to be somewhere at 10 o'clock. I have a very important meeting. Let's make this quick. I couldn't agree more. I need to take home 5 bob tonight, or the missus will go through the roof. Oh, may the Lord show us all the light here, and lead his flock to a righteous verdict. He's religious now? The British jury system is so very different to our own, isn't it? It's quite extraordinary to think that the powers of judgment is in the hand of 6 members of the public, and that the judge can only pass sentence when all jurors are in agreement about the defendant's guilt. 6 citizens of London chosen at random, or at least that's the idea. The prosecution would draw attention to the fact that the accused was on trial here but 2 days ago. Accordingly, where possible, the same jurors have been asked to return for duty today. Very well. Let us commence the trial. Isn't there going to be a biased opinion? Hi?
Hi!
Lord Von Zix, your opening statement, please. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it is not the intent of the prosecution to cast doubt over your past decision. However, the innocent verdict afforded to this eccentric Nipponese before has had dire consequences. Did the accused repent for his wrongdoing in that affair? Far from it. Instead, he used his freedom to perpetrate a most blood-curdling crime, namely that of the attempted murder of his neighboring lodger, an innocent Englishman. To explain the circumstances of the crime, the prosecution calls its first witnesses to the stand. Fuck you. The detective responsible for investigating the scene, and the accused himself. Oh. So Soseki's gonna be testifying. Interesting. Witnesses, your names and occupations, please. Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard Homicide Division. Soseki Natsume, of the Empire of Japan. My government ordered me to come here as a student to study your language and culture. Mr. Natsume. Yes, my lord. Sir. I'm quite sure I'm not mistaken that you swore an oath never to set foot in my courtroom again. I remember it as if it was yesterday. The day before, in fact, my lord, but close enough. Believe me, this is the last place I want to be. Inspector, let's hear from you first. Explain the case for the court. Right, you are, sir. The incident occurred at the Garadeb household where the defendant has lodgings. In the ground floor room of the victim, Mr. William Shamspeare. The defendant has already admitted to visiting the victim on the night in question. Mr. Shamspeare collapsed in his room as a result of poisoning by strychnine? That. He was found the following morning when the landlord suspected something was wrong, broke down the door. This means, I presume, that the door to the victim's room was locked at the time of the incident? Correct, my lord. It was locked from the inside, making entry to or exit from the room impossible. Although the victim, Mr. Shamspeare, lives to tell tale, he very nearly didn't. The man was halfway to heaven when we first found him. I was first officer on the scene, my lord. And I have a photographic print here that I took at the time to show how it looked. Yes, a chilling scene indeed. The man looks very much deceased. That's right. Everyone present believed that's exactly what he was. Very well. I shall accept this photographic print as evidence for the court. Now then, Mr. Natsume. Yes! As the defendant, do you have anything to say at this juncture? They're haunted. Haunted by evil spirits. Good gracious, what's haunted? My lodgings! There's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings! The tenant before me died in mysterious circumstances. A woman was stabbed by no one on the street outside. My neighbor was poisoned. And me! What about me? I've nearly been killed countless times! Killed, Mr. Natsume? How? Even on that fateful night, it happened. When I returned from Mr. Shamspeare's room, I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed. But before long, the stove went out. And somebody tried to kill me! You must always extinguish all fires before retiring for the night, Mr. Natsume. But it's so cold! My ruddy nose would freeze! The point is, I didn't poison my neighbor. Oh, why am I being accused of this? Why is my existence so cursed? Thank you, witnesses. I believe I have a reasonably clear picture of events. If I could raise one more point, my lord. One more conclusive point.
conclusive. Go on.
Fortunately, the victim, Mr. Shamspeare, has regained consciousness after his ordeal. And he has named the true culprit. The poison consumed by the victim was administered in a cup of tea that he drank on the night in question. Tea, my lord, that was brought to the victim's room by the accused.
The accused? Good grief! Order! Order!
Yes, that's the crux of this whole case. If Soseki-san is innocent, then why? Why has the victim accused him?
Well, Mr. Natsume, what have you to say to this accusation?
That evening, yes, I did take some freshly brewed tea with me when I visited Mr. Shamspeare's room as a gift. The public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I bottled water especially to make it. And this is the result! Never will I touch tea again! Never! The public pump was frozen, you say?
That's not information we've heard before.
That will do, thank you. Now, according to our laws, the defense may have the opportunity to cross-examine witnesses at least once. Therefore, I call upon these witnesses now for formal testimony. I presume the prosecution has no objection?
None whatsoever, my lord.
Good. Then you will give your account of events on the night in question to the court now.
Yes, my lord!
Alright, here we go.
It was around 9 o'clock that evening when I visited my neighbor, and I took some tea with me as a gift. We had a heated literary debate over a nice hot drink, after which I went back to my room at around 11. Ugh! My tea was completely harmless! He couldn't have locked the door behind me otherwise, could he? Strychnine takes some time to have an effect on the body. People don't keel over immediately after taking it. The victim would have been perfectly able to lock the door after his guest left. The argument still stands.
Yes, I see. It all seems relatively straightforward.
Excuse me, but that testimony does raise one other crucial point, I think.
Look at them, they look so cool.
Mr. Natsume claims his tea to have been harmless. Presumably, though, the teacups have been examined for traces of the poison, haven't they?
Why didn't I think of that?
Well, as it happens, no. We haven't been able to.
Did I hear you correctly, Inspector? Scotland Yard has failed to examine the suspect's substance?
How could you have overlooked something so important? Isn't that the first thing you should have done? My learned Nipponese friend is falsely incensed. The inspector said Scotland Yard was unable to examine the tea, not that it was overlooked.
Unable? Why?
It's simple enough. There was none left, not a drop. Someone must have been very thirsty indeed. With current scientific techniques, it's not possible to test for poison under such circumstances. We only need a drop, but that one drop does actually have to exist. Funnily enough. The lack of examination notwithstanding, it appears nothing other than the tea passed the victim's lips on the night in question.
I see. Thank you. The matter is clear.
Cast your eyes over the jury, my learned friend.
What?
You can see it in their faces, I'm sure. The recognition of the accused's guilt. Your client's fate is all but sealed. In mere moments from now, you will lose, and your compatriot will be damned for all eternity. He's right. I can feel all 6 of the jurors looking daggers at me. But I can't let them beat me down. I won't. Woo!
Counsel for the defense, proceed with your cross-examination.
Yes, my lord!
Woo! Let's go! It's time, baby!
The catastrophic night. Alright.
It was around 9 o'clock the evening when I visited my neighbor and I took some tea with me as a gift.
Hold it!
Were you and your neighbor good friends then?
Ugh, no! We weren't friends! Not at all! Not at all! Never, ever!
A simple no would have sufficed.
He still does a little animation, even though there's nothing there.
Then, why did you decide to pay him a visit?
Mr. Shakespeare fancies himself as having great literary knowledge. As a fellow scholar of English literature, we find much to talk about together.
It's okay. If you want... Did he dab? He kind of did a little bit. If you want to play it yourself, I would highly recommend it.
You don't have to spoil yourself.
Don't worry about it. But I appreciate it, though.
Come now. No Nipponese could understand the finer points of English literature. Shut up! Shut up! Shut your mouth! Shut your mouth! Jeez!
Mega Ace Attorney fan. Ayy! Ayy, same hat.
I love the Ace Attorney franchise. I think the only games I haven't played are the 3DS games and the Edgeworth games, because I haven't been able to get them. But I've played almost everything else.
Shut up or I'll make you fart again, Van Dix!
Get that fart button ready. And on the night in question, that was the topic of conversation as well, I presume.
It was the day of my last trial, when I was acquitted. I had just arrived back at my lodgings, when I ran into Mr. Shakespeare outside on the street. That was at around 6 o'clock. We exchanged one or two pleasantries, but it soon turned into a heated discussion. He was on his way out at the time, though, so I promised to visit his room that evening at 9 to continue our debate. But did I have ill intentions?
No! Not one! Not two! Not any! Not at all! Never, ever!
A simple no would have sufficed, I feel.
Then tell the court what did happen when you visited the victim's room.
Bum, 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 bum. We had a heated literary debate over a nice hot drink, after which I went back to my room at around 11. So they were he said he came down at 9, and then he's saying he left at 11, so they were there for 2 hours. Okay. Oh, whoops, hold on.
Hold it!
A literary debate about Shakespeare's works, I think you said, didn't you?
Shakespeare? Ah, a very worthy topic of conversation, I must say. Oh, yes, my lord! Romeo and Juliet! Who was stronger? It was a profoundly pleasurable parley. Romeo and Juliet? Who was stronger?
I know I'm going to regret asking this, but how did the debate go?
Well, we both agreed that we would reach a conclusion more quickly with a reenactment. So we battled it out, in a Greco-Roman style, naturally.
What?
Mr. Shakespeare had all sorts of costumes in his room for just such a contest.
So, when you say a reenactment, you mean you were actually in costume?
He as Romeo and I as Juliet!
Oh, I want to see Soseki dressed up as Juliet.
He is Romeo and I as Juliet. And after a vigorous wild tussle, I as Juliet came out on top. A victory I'll cherish forever! I dare not imagine the terrible scene of carnage. The fact remains that it was you who prepared the tea and took it to the victim, correct? I boiled the water in my room and made a pot to take with me. I'd heard that he was too poor to have tea himself, you see.
It's true. There were no sign of any tea leaves in the man's room.
I wanted to do something nice, to be friendly. So why is everyone looking at me with such suspicion? My tea was harmless! Of course it was! And do you have any basis for that statement, witness?
My tea was completely harmless. He couldn't have locked the door behind me otherwise, could he? Yes, there was not a drop of tea left in the victim's room anywhere, was there?
That's correct. Anyone would think that the fellow had never had a pot of tea before. He must have licked it dry. Which is a pity, because one drop is all we would have needed to analyze it for poison.
And you say that you returned home to your room at 11 o'clock, Mr. Natsume?
Yes, definitely! By heaven and earth, I swear it! The landlord was able to verify that, as it happens. He confirmed that the defendant went back to his room at 11 that night. And how was the landlord able to attest to this? He, said it was the lamps, I believe. The lamps, Inspector?
When tenants return to their rooms and start using gas, the lamps in other parts of the house flicker. Yes, Mr. Gyrodub seems to pay a lot of attention to the comings and goings of his tenants.
There's only one key to Mr. Shamspeare's room! I know that for certain! So he must have locked the door himself, from inside his room! The victim has confirmed that to be the case, yes. So I'm right! My tea was harmless! Completely harmless! If you take poison, you die! Everyone knows that! It's not that simple, I'm afraid. Huh? What do you mean?
I'm gonna call it strychnine. Strychnine takes some time to have an effect on the body. People don't keel over immediately after taking it.
Hold it!
How long does it take for symptoms to appear then?
According to the coroner I was speaking to at the yard, about 30 minutes after the poison's consumed. Then the victim suffers violent convulsions, cramping, and stiffness, and eventually dies from asphyxiation.
Jesus, that sounds terrible. So there's a 30-minute interval between when the poison is ingested and the onset of symptoms. There seems to be a lot of different types of poison in the world, that's for sure. Oh dear, death by poisoning again. It's always so awful.
30 minutes is a long time. Certainly long enough for the victim to have locked the door behind the accused after he left.
You can't deny that. And it further degrades Saseki-san's alibi.
I had the medical report from the doctor who examined the victim here, my lord. It spells it out, really. The accused is the only person who could have done it. Very well. The court will add this report to the court record as evidence.
Oh yes, I see it here. Delayed onset of symptoms.
Great.
The victim would have been perfectly able to lock the door after his guests left. The argument still stands. Let me look at the court record really quick. I want to examine things. William Shakespeare, 31. Cause of coma. Ingestion of a small quantity of strychnine. Toxic effects present 30 minutes after ingestion. High likelihood of the substance having been mixed with the tea the victim was drinking, but no sample could be obtained for testing. Investigative conclusions. The poisoning incident occurred at around 1:30 a.m. Wait, what? Wait, what? 1:30 a.m.? The poisoning incident occurred at around 1:30 a.m. on 21st of February, assessed from the victim's pocket watch that appears to have broken when the man collapsed after delayed onset of symptoms. No container for the poison was found at the scene. But, wait, that doesn't make any sense. So let me check the picture. Also, there's this weird puddle here. No one's gonna bring that up. Let's examine the teacups. This is a teacup in which Mr. Natsume was drinking. Yes, unlike the other one, the inside of the cup is completely clean. Oh!
Examine D's nuts.
Alice, thank you for the 7 months. I really appreciate it. Examine these nuts.
How you doing, girl? I hope you're having a nice night.
We are examining these teacups.
I suppose he must have drunk the contents before the tea had a chance to leave a mark.
I always gulp it down too.
Sorry, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, if you just sip it little by little, it goes cold.
clearly I shall have to instruct you in the proper way to take tea. Ah, interesting. Okay. You just took a long bath? Aw, that sounds nice. I haven't had a bath in a long time. I usually just shower. I want to take a bath sometime. Funny, I was thinking about that earlier today. I wanted to take a bath. This must be the cup Mr. Shamspeare was drinking from then. It's stained from the inside. Tea does that, I'm afraid. Even green tea.
Oh, really? I never noticed before.
You've never noticed?
Well, I never leave it in the cup long enough to leave a mark. I like to gulp it down. Drink tea while it's hot!
That's the Japanese way, isn't it? Oh dear. So many people seem to have the wrong idea about our culture, and most of them are Japanese. So, they think that this is Shamspeare's tea, a teacup. Okay. Wait, you can't tell from this picture. Damn it. Okay. Ain't nothing with this. Soap. Oh. What is it, Mr. Naruhodo? The bar of soap. When we first found it, I could have sworn there was some sort of round disc in this depression just here. A reddish one. Yes, you're right. I remember it too. But now, the depression is completely empty. Where could the disc have gone? Huh. Okay, interesting. And this is the map. And these are the books.
Hold it!
Alright, let's go. Bath time! The argument still stands, you say?
This is what Miss Natsume has been saying, isn't it? The pair then drank tea together that night, so if there was poison in it, the victim wouldn't have been able to lock the door after the accused left later on.
I have the disc here, in my depression. Exactly! Ugh! Me and my tea are innocent! Sweet and innocent, I tell you!
I'm afraid, sir, that doesn't follow. You see, strychnine is a slow-acting poison. In other words, it takes time for symptoms to appear. So you could have left the room up to 30 minutes after the victim drank the tea. And as long as you did that, Mr. Shamspeare could have locked the door after you'd gone.
But no! We drank the tea straight away! The battle over whether Romeo or Juliet was stronger, that came after the tea.
Do you have any evidence to support that statement? In my great homeland, the Empire of Japan, we have a saying.
Drink tea while it's hot! Sure. A proverb will satisfy the prosecution.
I'm afraid there's no conclusive proof to support the defendant's assertion. On the contrary, there are sufficient grounds to infer his guilt in this matter.
No! That's everything. Okay. That's the extent of their testimony, is it? If I could voice a personal opinion, Mr. Naruhodo. Of course, go ahead. Mr. Natsume is arguing for his innocence so adamantly and so persistently. Yet Inspector Gregson just brushes aside. It's really quite infuriating. I agree. So we need to find an inconsistency with what the inspector is saying, I think. I'm afraid so. As things stand, the jurors are sure to find Mr. Natsume guilty. As I see it, what we need to focus on is the poison and the tea. Let's listen carefully to his testimony again. Yes. Okay. Alright, so let's save. Memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro. So I visited 9 o'clock, We had heated lead. Okay. I think this one. I want to present this. Let's see. Hopefully I'm right.
Objection!
I'm right! Mr. Natsume, you say it was 11 p.m. when you left to return to your room, correct? Yes! And Inspector Gregson, can we rely on the information in the medical report unconditionally?
Of course we can. There's no problem with that report, Sunshine.
Actually, I think there's a very big problem. Because there's a chronological inconsistency between it and the defendant's testimony.
What? What are you on about?
According to this report, the victim must have consumed the poison at around 1:30 in the morning. And yet, the defendant, Mr. Natsume, left the victim's room at 11. Yes, that's right. There's more than 2 hours of missing time there. In other words, if there was poison in the tea that Mr. Natsume brought to the victim's room, how could the victim have fallen ill to it 2.5 full hours after the defendant left? Wah! Oh my god, they did the same animation! Why did they do the same animation? What the heck was that?
The defense's argument is entirely reasonable. How do you respond, Lord Van Zieks?
Oh my god. There he goes. There he goes with the fucking wine. Little Timmy! You're needed to bring in some more wine and clean up because he's gonna fucking throw that wine glass. There he goes.
Pray forgive the discourtesy if my mind has wandered.
He's either gonna crush it or throw it.
I was considering what cuisine would best complement the contents of my hollow chalice this luncheon.
He doesn't care. He just doesn't care.
How could it have happened, you ask?
There he goes!
I do hate to shatter illusions, but my Nipponese friend appears to be chasing a phantom idea.
A phantom?
Is it so hard to imagine that the victim drank his tea after the accused had left? For example, at the time stated in the medical report, yes, at around 1:30.
Objection!
No. Mr. Natsume brought the tea with him to drink together with his neighbor. And in Japan, there is a well-known saying, drink tea while it's hot.
Objection!
And in my country, there is an even more apt saying. There is nothing more refreshing than cold tea.
Bullshit! The point is, if there was such a long gap, there may be other ways to explain how the victim came to be poisoned. Other possibilities!
What sort of possibilities, Counsel?
I don't know, but they're there. Well, for example, the man could have had another visitor.
Another visitor? That's a very bold assertion, my learned friend.
From someone who has nothing to substantiate it. Or the victim could have taken the poison on his own volition.
You're suggesting this may have been a suicide, Counsel?
Objection!
Nah.
Mr. Shamspeare has categorically denied suicide. The idea can and must be discounted.
Objection!
Ah, a little slap. But he could be lying. Oh, Ryosuke, that's such a bad comeback. I think he's disappointed.
Is something wrong, Lord Van Zieks? I was listening to the sound of the carriage pulling up outside the courtroom. Pray, forgive the discourtesy.
Carriage? What carriage?
It would seem that the key player in this case has just arrived.
Hold it? Eh? 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 Out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow. What? Oh!
Spear that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more.
Oh my god.
It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Who, sir, are you?
William Shakespeare, my lord. Alas, 'twas I, undone by these bitter events. I am the victim! What's he doing here?
There he is. William Shakespeare. The man himself.
The prosecution seeks to call this gentleman to the stand. With his testimony, my learned friend's futile resistance will be utterly crushed.
You're calling him as a witness?
Very well, counsel. I grant your request with interest. I'm curious to discover what the court shall hear from the victim himself.
Happy am I, Shakespeare, to regale thee with my tale of woe, my lord. But I still have my own tale to tell. My own tale of worse woe. I can regale the court with the tale of my perfect innocence in perfect English.
That will do, Mr. Natsume. Let the court now hear from the victim.
Look at him.
Who's the other guy? Where'd he come from?
Alright, so that's Mr. Shakespeare. But who's the other man beside him? That's what I want to know. Yes, I feel sure that we've caught a glimpse of that man before.
Popeye?
State your names and occupations for the court, please, witnesses.
A writer of words so sweet they do scent the breeze, an inventor of ideas so profound they compose of the earth. The unrivaled poet and unmatched scribe, William Shakespeare, were the great bard to be recalled to life anew. Lo, what a magnificent man! Good fellows, I am he who ponders such a miracle, William Shakespeare.
The name's Midderman.
Adron B. Middeman. Wait. Adron B. Metterman. Okay, sure.
Did his chin just jiggle? I work for the Atlemont Gas Company, East End branch office.
Ah, I remember now. It was yesterday on Briar Road.
Oh yes, she's right, it's him.
I sorta got the pun. Adron B. Metterman.
Oh, is he a drone bee? I saw the pack and the scarf. Oh, he's a drone bee. Oh, okay. I kind of like that. That's clever. I saw the bag and the scarf and like, oh wait, is that like the little bee butt and the wings? Ah, that's funny. I like that. I like that actually. He looks like he's trying to see to Suki-san's lodgings.
Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo?
Excuse me, could we have a word? There he goes.
Yes, we spotted him outside Mr. Garadeb's house that morning. And he's a gas company employee? What does he have to do with this case?
So, Mr. William Shakespeare, you are the victim in this miserable affair, correct?
Oh heaven, oh hell! Do you command me to remember that sweet poison that did cross mine innocent lips?
I subpoenaed him for the trial, with his doctor's permission, naturally. Hearing the testimony of the aggrieved will remove any room for doubt from the jurors' minds, I'm sure.
Behold, you have only to rearrange the letters of my name to see that me's a seraph, an angel indeed. Thus be I noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily honest of heart, as all heavenly angels be.
Because there isn't a less contrived meaning in your name. No, not at all.
The jurors seem to be very moved by this man, I'm afraid. They're actually taking the seraph anagram idea seriously.
Thank you, witnesses, for your illuminating introductions.
But, my lord, what's the man next to Mr. Shakespeare doing here? The gas man, I mean.
What? Me? Well, now. Allow me to enlighten my learned friend. You recall, I presume, your earlier impertinence? When you suggested that the victim had another visitor to his room on the night in question, and moreover, that the victim is a compulsive liar.
What? No, I didn't quite say that.
This young chinstrekker is here to controvert your wild claims conclusively. Is that not so, Mr. Metaman?
Hang on, no, I'm just here.
I hereby call for your formal testimonies. You will tell the court as lucidly as possible what happened on the night in question.
One may smile and be a villain. Yes, it doth pain me, but let the truth be spoken, the truth of that wintry night of my discontent.
Stop stroking your chin, it's weird.
The snow lay about. My neighbour did cometh in the evening, bearing a gift of tea. But Mary, bitter was his drink, and when he left, I did fall prostrate on my table. 'Twas the tea alone did pass my lips that late hour, naught else.
I was outside the bloke's window in the freezing cold all night, keeping an eye on his room. No one else visited his room, but that short little round-back Easton fella.
Wait, what did you say? You were keeping an eye on Mr. Shakespeare's room all night?
That's what. Of course, the bloke's window's all but blocked up, isn't it? But there's a little gap in the bricks where you can see into the room. So I spent the night trying to keep my teeth from chattering as I peered in through there.
The question is, sir, why?
Ah! Well now, that's because he's on my list.
What a piece of work is a man! Wherefore wouldst thou not stare in wonderment?
What are you talking about?
This buzzing busybody hath not part in this play. I pray thee, pay him no heed. Make no more ado about his tedious words.
What'd you say about me? Calm yourself. This court is concerned with what happened on the night in question. Nothing more.
Indeed, that is so.
And, as the testimony we have just heard clearly reveals, there was no one other than the accused present at the time who could have carried out this crime.
Okay, but who's this new lady? She's kind of pretty, though.
Well, I believe this may be the final testimony of the trial. Now, counsel, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination.
Oh, I don't believe that, my lord.
Yes, my lord.
My lord. Okay. The snow lay about. My neighbour did cometh in the evening, bearing a gift of tea.
Hold it!
To be clear, by neighbour, you were referring to the defendant, Mr. Natsume.
Oh, indeed, sire. Perchance thou wouldst that I called him the man from upstairs.
And at what time did the mustachioed Nipponese visit you in your room?
Our meeting was promised for the hour of 9, and lo did he come, to tender a gift of fragrant tea.
Details which are in accordance to the defendant's own testimony, yes.
And we are broiled in such a literary debate as history hath not seen before.
By which I presume he means the discussion about who was stronger, Romeo or Juliet.
I, Shakespeare, did play the part of young Romeo, whilst my neighbour played the fair Juliet. Each of us dressed as would our characters be to bring weight upon our merry experiment.
I dare not imagine the scene.
Frailty, thy name is woman. Canst thou imagine how dismayed I was? Yes, I had heard of the Eastern... Oh, whoops, I pressed the button. The Eastern art of jujitsu. But... did I dream 'twould be a skill practiced by the comely maiden?
Juliet beat Romeo up? This is not helping our case.
I believe the court has heard enough about your earth-shattering literary debate. Perhaps you could reiterate your statement about the tea that the accused brought to your room.
My liege, I am thy servant. Gladly, I would do thy bidding.
What a freak. But merry bitter was his drink, and when he left, I did fall prostrate on my table.
Hold it!
Let me stop you there. Mr. Natsume left your room at 11 o'clock, but it wasn't until after 2 that the poison made you collapse. That amounts to more than 3 hours of missing time. What do I think of this guy? I say as soon as you go, what a freak. I think he's funny. I feel like he's gonna be guilty of something. He reeks of guilty air. But let's see what happens. That amounts to more than 3 hours of missing time. Why is he dancing? Why is he dancing? If the defendant had really put the poison into your tea, that 3-hour window of time is something you're going to have to explain.
Gladly, 'tis an easy task.
What?
I did drink the tea, not whilst my guest did tarry, but after he took leave of me. Faith, 'twas stone cold, but at an hour post midnight, verily were my lips parched.
Objection!
He's schmoovin'. Hi! Welcome! He do be schmoovin'. That doesn't sound normal!
Nay, 'tis quite ordinary, sire. After all, thou wouldst recall our fiery debate. Amidst such argument, there'd be no time for fiery tea.
Romeo and Juliet again. And who was stronger?
Mr. Shakespeare, in summary, allow me to confirm. Did you not come here with the intention of naming your attacker?
But of course, my liege. 'Twas the stooped lover of words did attempt to shuffle me off this mortal coil.
We all know what that means. Nyong. 'Twas the tea alone did pass my lips that late hour, not else.
Hold it!
So, you didn't have any kind of evening meal, dinner, supper?
Ha! Fay of luxury, fay on gluttony. To eat thrice daily is but a waste of time.
Sorry?
I would that my belly were full no more oft than the sun doth rise.
Well, most heroic eating habits, I must say.
Night and day I do fill my hours with learned study of the great bard and playwright. Hence it is that there doth not in my chamber be than the costumes of my art.
That would appear to be the case, as even a rodent was found starved to death in your room.
Jesus Christ! Now that I think of it, it's not just food that was conspicuously missing from that room, is it? I don't recall seeing a single play or script anywhere.
For I have devoured them all. You've eaten them? Every word be within my skull. Didst thou imagine otherwise? Oh. Right. That wasn't misleading at all. Now, could you turn around, do you think? Eat paper.
Which brings us to the conclusion that the only way the victim... Meow. That the victim...
I can't read.
Which brings us to the conclusion that the only way the poison could have passed the victim's lips is in the tea.
There he is.
I was outside this bloke's window in the freezing cold, not keeping an eye on his room.
Why, though?
But the windows of that house have all been filled in.
A historical artifact of the now defunct window tax.
Yeah, you're right there. All bricked up horribly. But as it happens, there's a little part of the brickwork at the bottom corner that's been opened up. I was looking in through that gap.
Yes, there were a few bricks loose, weren't there? And for some strange reason, a couple of bars of...
Thank you for the fart, Oz. And for some strange reason, a couple of bars of soap lined up on the ledge outside as well. Let's use the fart. Let's use the soap to clean up the fart.
I don't like going around poking my chin in other people's business, especially on freezing cold nights. But them's my orders, so that's what I'll keep doing, as long as there's breath in my body.
What's with all the theatricals today? You can clean gas. Like this. Out of interest, Mr. Metalman, after the accused had left and returned to his own lodgings, did you see the victim leave the room at all?
No, he never left. He was in that room the whole time as far as I'm concerned.
And we can therefore discount the possibility of suicide. How can you be so sure of that? The police carried out a thorough investigation of the scene and found no receptacle for the poison. I say things to bother you, Oz. And since we know the victim didn't leave his room and had... Oh, more stuff to clean with the soap. We clean farts with soap. It's that easy. Thank you for the fart, Astoria. And since we know the victim didn't leave his room and hence didn't dispose of the poison container himself, it's clear that this was no attempted suicide. Only the culprit could have removed the receptacle.
Ah, yes. Lucidly explained, counsel, thank you.
It really was. You can't argue with the logic.
No one else visited the room but that short little round back Eastern fella.
Hold it!
Excuse me. You say a short little round back Eastern fella. Sorry. So you can't be sure it was the defendant then?
Objection!
Oh, come on, Ryusuke. That was such a bad defense. How many other short little round-backed East Nipponese with a mustache do you think there are in London?
Well, of course, it's only a narrow gap and he was quite dark, so I didn't notice the mustache. But he showed up at around 9, so I'm pretty sure of myself.
And when the person you saw arrived, did he and Mr. Shamsir drink tea together?
Nah, sorry, I couldn't say.
Why not?
Because I couldn't see into the other room all that well, could I? But what I did see was the silhouette of that little round-back fellow wearing a pretty dress. Then the pair of them started some kind of wrestling match, I'll tell you. I didn't know what to make of it.
I suppose that was the Romeo and Juliet championship battle getting underway.
Mr. Metterman, allow me to confirm one final time. Apart from the accused, can you state with certainty that no one else visited the victim on the night in question?
No question! Gasman's honor!
Hold it! Is it the jury? Is it the jury about to say guilty? I knew it.
My lord! Goodness me, yes, Mr. Foreman. I'll keep my mouth shut and listen up to now, but this has gone on long enough. Are you all with me?
Yes!
Oh, we do understand that you ladies and gentlemen of the jury are in agreement with one another. That you've reached a unanimous decision.
Too raw we have. Are you all with me?
Yes!
Wait, no! Defense is in the middle of a cross-examination! To be honest, I was holding out a bit of hope for you, young man. Especially after you identified those 3 hours that followed the accused leaving the victim's room.
Yes, the 3 missing hours as you put it.
But in the end, what difference do they make? None as far as I can see. And since that's now apparent, there's really no reason to delay our decision any longer.
Like I was saying before, if I don't take 5 bob home with me tonight, the missus would blow it up!
What's that? Sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said.
The annoying part is for the most part the same jury as the last Natsume case. Yeah, they said that since it's the same victim, it's like so close together, they brought the same jurors, even though they have a completely different woman here. And that's such a bad way of going about it, because wouldn't the jury be like super biased by then? That's such a bad way of doing it, but I'm guessing it's to reuse the characters.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your leanings as to the defendant's culpability.
Here we go!
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Oh, that's true. That's right. She was one of the jury. I forgot about that. Recycling, am I right? You're right.
All of you? Well, it would appear that the jury is indeed unanimous.
Little Timmy, bring in the wine. Chop chop.
So, this time at least, it seems justice will be done. All's well that ends well, as they say. This calls for a toast, I fear. To the guilty being punished.
Ah!
Get up, Mr. Naruhodo, please! The trial isn't over yet. What do you mean, Mrs. Sato? Did you forget already, Ryunosuke? It's been 2 days! What about the information I found in this encyclopedia of British law I have? That obscure right that belongs to the defense in these situations. Remember? It's been 2 days, Ryunosuke. How could you forget? A summation examination. Yes, that's right. We don't have a jury in Japanese courts, of course. But here in a British court of law, if we can reverse the decisions of the majority of the jurors, we can force the trial to continue. This trial can't end now. I like that he still does a little animation of like adjusting his band, even with the DLC costume. I get it because, you know, it's the same model, they have to reuse the animations, but it's very funny he just doing that when there's nothing there. They could have at least put the band on the DLC costume, but they didn't, so it's a little weird. Whatever it takes, I just can't let that happen. The defense moves to invoke its right to a summation examination, my lord. Why am I not surprised at my learned Nipponese friend's inability to admit defeat?
Fuck you.
Ryunosuke. But what if the player started with the second game, Sato? I like to think it's a force of habit. Yeah, that does sound like something for Ryunosuke, that it's a force of habit. Like, even when he wears like different clothes, he has like that phantom feeling of the band being there, so he just like instinctively reaches for it. Because Kazuma, Kazuma. I remember him. Also, sorry, I'm putting my blanket over my shoulders. There we go. You chose to cling desperately to some archaic rule you barely comprehend instead of accepting the truth.
certainly no other defense counselor in recent times has exercised the right to a summation examination. Because they all know that once the jury's mind is set, it cannot be altered.
We've literally done it like 3 times. You fuck. I mean, I guess it's only been, like, twice? 1 time in this case? Because this is after the first Natsume case. But yeah.
Nevertheless, the right remains and must be upheld.
Your mom sent me good and hard to my dork!
Me at Banzeeks.
The defense counsel's request is granted. This court will proceed with a summation examination as outlined in the Encyclopedia of British Law.
Thank you.
My lord. Are you and your fellows prepared, Mr. Foreman? Believe me, my lord, we know all about this young lad's tenacity, and we're ready for it. Very well. In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby call upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime for which he stands accused.
Judicial findings. Alright, let's see what they have to say.
The victims may not be well off, but he's a noble man of straight up. There's no reason to doubt the man.
Well, I do declare the good gentleman has no reason to lie. In fact, I think he's rather splendid. Just look at the accused by comparison. He's Japanese, stoops all the while, and has a mustache. Very fishy.
That's racist. Well, this guy just answered your question.
There's no evidence to suggest the gangling actor is a fraudman. For now, at least.
Ah! I really don't care. Look, I just need this trial to end quickly. 3 hours of missing time is nothing when you reach my age, you know. Nothing at all.
It wasn't even subtle. None of the characters are subtle. I knew it. Every single one of them seems completely convinced.
It would seem that all the jurors have come to the conclusion that Mr. Shamspeare is a fine, upstanding, and honest citizen.
If you ask me, they've all been bewitched by his strange theatrical movements.
And sadly, nothing Mr. Natsume has said appears to have registered at all.
Well, here goes. Let's not forget. I've pleaded with the jury on Saseki-san's behalf before, and it worked. So, you never know.
Before we begin, it might be an idea for me to remind you exactly how a summation examination works, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, well, you're still very new to British law after all.
That's true, I suppose. And Saseki-san's fate is entirely in my hands now, too. There's always a chance I might have forgotten some crucial detail. Perhaps I should hear Sasato-san out? I wonder. Should I let her talk me through it again, or no bother? No need! Thank you for the kind offer, Mrs. Sato. But I've been through plenty of these summation examinations already now. I think it's important that we don't delay to start any longer than necessary.
Of course, I understand, and I'm quite sure you are right. If you're confused by anything at any point, you can turn to me for advice whenever you like. I'll be here for you.
The key to this is really listening carefully to each juror's statement. Finding 2 that are contradictory, and pitting the corresponding jurors against each other.
Without further ado, please, counsel, proceed with the summation examination.
Okay. Yes, my lord.
Here we go, baby!
I love the little mouse on Ryunosuke's outfit. It's so cute.
Hold it!
Do you have any reason to think that? Well, there are plenty of people in London who seem noble but poor. Couldn't some of them also be liars?
I've no doubt about it. Like that shaky clone of yours, for example.
Absolutely not! Mr. Natsume is no liar!
Look, the point is, the only thing that passed the victim's lips that night was that Japanese man's teeth. When you take the gas man's testimony into account as well, the truth couldn't be any clearer. Well, that's alarmingly logical.
Hello, gentlemen. This is my emotional support mouse.
But let me be frank here. I'm a gentleman with a gentleman's values. If it turns out that the old Shakespearean chum is a rotten liar after all, I'll gladly change my decision about the defendant. And I'm sure my fellow gentlemen of the jury would do the same. Isn't that right?
Well, yes, perhaps. Though I don't see it happening.
Huh? What's that? Elderly gent on the end here, you know. You'll have to speak up.
Look, I really don't care about all this nonsense. I just need this trial to be over.
How many gentlemen do we need actually have on the jury then?
It looks like fucking Mappy.
Alright, sir. I may hold you to that. Don't forget what you said. Alright, if you can show me that the victim's a liar, I'll reconsider my position. Well, I do declare that the gentleman has no reason to lie. In fact, I think he's rather splendid.
Why do you think that? These colors are very spot on. Yeah, it's cute.
Are you saying you believe the man to be trustworthy because he's rather splendid? No, that's not what I said. The point is, the man is the victim here. What reason would he have to lie? And yes, he is rather splendid.
So you say, yet again.
Meanwhile, the man who stands accused behaves so suspiciously, it's exhausting to look at him. I'm afraid he's not splendid at all.
Splendid logic there, madam. Thank you so much.
Just look at the accused by comparison. He's Japanese, stoops all the while, and has a mustache. Very fishy. Oops, wrong button.
Hold it!
No, no, no! Not one of those things is a reason to find the man guilty! But he is fishy. There's no point dancing around the fact. He's Japanese, he has a mustache, and he stoops. You see, you arrive at the conclusion in just 3 steps. 3 steps, like a waltz, in fact. You know, the more I think about it, the more this trial seems like a dance.
You seem to be several steps ahead of yourself, though, and you're on the wrong foot.
No! There's nothing... That's nothing but circumstantial evidence here. There's no actual proof of the defendant's guilt. But the victim's version of events is backed up by what the big chin man next to him says, isn't it? 1, he saw the Japanese man there. 2, he saw no one else. And 3, he saw the Japanese man there. Oh, that's another 3 steps. Oh, this really does seem more and more like a waltz, doesn't it?
Right. And the prosecution will waltz its way to victory if I let you speak much more.
There's no evidence to suggest the gangling actor is a fraudsman. For now, at least.
Hold it!
A fraudsman? What do you mean by that, madam?
It really is a most tiresome problem for the company. Most irritating. We can be absolutely certain that a customer is stealing from us, but without hard evidence. We can't even threaten to take action for fear of being sued.
What is she talking about?
I'm sorry, you've lost me a little there.
Who are you?
I'm the wife of Augustus Altamont, owner of the Altamont Gas Company.
Oh! Oh, she's the bee guy's. Oh, is she like a queen bee?
Good gracious, Altamont Gas, you say? Gas is the future of energy in this country and around the globe, but proper handling is essential. As I'm sure our employee from the East End branch office would be the first to agree.
Absolutely, Lady Quinby! Her name's Quinby. Gotta be used properly. Altamont Gas is the best in the world, of course. That's funny.
Ah, I think we solved the mystery of the bow from earlier, Mr. Naruto.
Oh, the bow.
Right. He bowed in deference to his employer's wife, did he?
So, would I be right in assuming that the reason Mr. Metaman was watching Mr. Shamsir was up to in his room
I'm afraid that there's no end to the lengths the population of the East End will go to in order to steal our gas. So I really have no choice when the company identifies somebody as a possible fraudsman. But to dispatch a worker to watch the suspect day and night. We're very thorough in our investigations.
Killer Queen and Vespa! You're right! I love it. I love it. So, you mean Mr. Shamspear is...
I wouldn't come out and say it in public.
Ooh, I like her umbrella. But you can finish that sentence with a grubby little gas thief.
You have noticed the public gallery in here, have you?
The eye of man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen. Faith, wouldst thou wound me with thy words, were I to let them penetrate the skin? But seraphs hear not insults, like choirs of angels in song.
We may not have the evidence yet, but my workers won't stop buzzing around you until they find it. And when they do, you'll find yourself blasted back to your angelic heights in an Altamont gas explosion!
Ooh, damn girl, I like her.
So Mr. Shamspear has been stealing gas. I wonder, juror number 4, if you wouldn't mind adding that information to your statement.
My pleasure.
Was it the bit about ripping the thief apart you enjoyed?
A little before the part about object violence, if it's not too much trouble.
Yes, of course.
I really like her, honestly. I think she's my favorite so far. I can't wait for this game to make me dislike her by making her racist for some reason.
This could be it. This could shift the balance.
The victim's put on a fine performance, but in reality, he's a common thief of my company's gas. She's good. Girl boss up in here. You're right, she's a girl boss. I also really like her design. It's really nice.
Let me see what the others have to say.
You like bee themes and clothes like her? I think I do as well, considering I have 2 OCs that are bee themed. Or technically 3, but I have to work on her more. So I think I'm with you there on liking the bee motif. Bees are cool bugs. I like them. They're cool little buggers.
Oops, wrong button. Alright, so...
let's put these two against each other.
Objection!
Those two statements clearly contradict each other.
Good gracious. To whose statements do you refer, counsel?
I guess I must be a fan. But Juror number 1.
Eh? What are you yelling about, lad?
I presume you've heard juror number 4's statement, made by the wife of the owner of Altamont Gas.
Well, yes.
The victim, who you claim to be a noble, straight-up man, in fact, turns out to be a common thief.
So the good lady says, but there's no evidence, is there? You and I both heard them say as much.
It's true. We don't have evidence as such. Just yet. But the claims aren't baseless, you know.
What?
You heard me, seeing as this operation has already been compromised. I would suggest that the court hears testimony from our East End branch office employee over there.
I'll do whatever you say, milady. Guessman's honor.
Juror number 1. You say you're a man of your word.
If I could show that Mr. Shamspear was a liar, you assured me that you would reconsider your decision about the defendant's guilt.
Yes, I did say that. And as a man of honor, I'll hold to it. As I'm sure the other gentlemen of the jury will.
Me? Well, yes. Now that we found out the man's a lawyer, perhaps we ought to consider the matter further.
Well, if I'm perfectly honest, I haven't heard half of what you've all been saying. So if this means you'll recap a few points, that would sit me down to the ground.
Oh no, I'm not having any part of this. I want this trial over and done with. In that case, I shall change my leaning. Girl boss.
So, Mr. William Shakespeare, if that is your real name, we of the jury demand to know exactly what kind of man you really are.
Yay! Yay!
That's 4 jurors. 4 for not guilty.
Yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Victory!
Look at their cute costumes.
Order! Order! Well, this is quite extraordinary, I must say. As a result of the defense summation examination, the jury's leanings have changed.
Yay!
Now only 2 jurors say guilty, whilst 4 say not guilty. I therefore declare this court to be in a state of disaccord, and order the trial to continue.
Yay!
Fuck off, you can't! There he goes again. You have spoilt the bouquet, Mr. Shakespeare. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury now find they are unable to trust you, the victim. But you gods will give us some faults to make us men. So God meant me, I do swear. This gas man speaketh to which concerns him most, naught but gas, naught but thin air. Aye, it burneth bright and while, but it hath no substance, and it doth reek foul. Oi! What'd you say?
I do take it, Mr. Shakespeare, that you deny the allegations of gas thievery.
Gas, you say? Most heartily, my lord. Hadst thou forgot, I am as a seraph. An angel! Noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily, honest of heart. Ah! You flary-mouthed pompous beanpole! Just cause I haven't got evidence yet! Mr. Shakespeare, if in fact you are not noble of mind, sweet of nature, or honest of heart, if you are a liar, then your testimony should have no sway in this courtroom. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. His bag makes it look like the little bee butt, and his scarf looks like bee wings. I think that's really cute. Ah, yes, the sound of an angel. Fart.
It is my considered opinion that at the present time no other possible culprit of this crime has been identified. All testimonies heard by the court thus far heavily implicate the defendant. In short, it would not be unreasonable at this stage for me to rule on the case.
Oh no.
However, in light of the fact the jury has expressed concern about the fidelity of this witness, I believe it would be inappropriate for this court to not pursue the point further.
Objection!
Fuck you! I assure you, my lord, that would be a waste of the court's time. The gas in this case and this case are unrelated. Says you! Yeah, daft cunt! Juror number 4.
Yes?
Didn't you say before that although you had no hard evidence to prove this man has been stealing gas, you have strong grounds for suspecting him?
That's right, we do. Don't we, Waka?
Absolutely, Lady Quinby! Gasman's honor! If you say... Alright, chat. Is Oz gonna say, look at me, or the blue badger? Place your bets. Von Zeeks. You changed your answer. Hmm. Now I gotta add Von Zeeks to the list of I know who done it claims that you make. Wow.
Very well then, we will hear your testimony now. You will tell the court precisely why you believe the victim, Mr. William Shamspeare, has been stealing gas.
You are not as predictable as I claim. I wonder about that.
If I may, my lord.
Go ahead, madam.
This worker's testimony may have a significant bearing on the good name of my husband's company. Therefore, I should like to take the stand alongside him, in a supervisory role, if you wouldn't mind.
Woohoo! Oh yeah, sweetest honey! Yeah!
Very well. As an exception, I shall honor your request.
Thank you, my lord.
You wait till the boss gives you an earful. Ooh, it's gonna sing. You mark my words.
So, you'll both testify before before the court on the subject of the illegal consumption of the Altamont Gas Company's fuel.
Yes. Is that clear, my good man?
Clear as Edmond gas, milady. Which is the clearest in the world. Maybe too much energy? Okay, sorry.
Do you think the gas has gone to his head, Mrs. Sato? I think the man is just a very dedicated employee, Mr. Naruhodo.
Alright, let's see her. I really like her design. Like, genuinely. I'm proud to be the company's East End branch investigator and meter money collection agent. Edmond gas meters accept through penny bits. Through penny bits? Through penny bits. You could say that he's a very busy bee. Shut up. Sorry. And yet the meter in Mr. Shamspeare's room didn't have a single coin in it. The meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with, though, and the collection agent has the only key. Somehow, he's using all the flaming gas he wants without paying a penny. If that's not thieving, what is? I think the company's just making him a drone at this point.
Pray forgive the discourtesy. The irrelevance of this testimony caused me to turn my heart to my hallowed chalice.
Fuck you.
What do you mean by that remark, Lord Van Zeeks?
Did the mustachioed Nipponese poison the gangling excuse for an actor, or didn't he? That is all that should concern this court. And yet, now we must listen to this abhorrence.
That's 2. No, that's 3, because he crushed one in his hands. Keep track how many wine glasses he destroyed. It's 3. 1 he crushed in his hands, and 2 he threw at the thing.
Clearly, what separates the vast British Empire and your Eastern Island nation is more than geographical distance.
You think we're gonna deal with poison gas? I was thinking that. I'm thinking that maybe it's a gas leak. That could be why. Cause like that could kind of explain why Mr. Garadeb is so like about the gas. Maybe there's a gas leak. One crush in his hand is worth 2 thrown at the candles. Okay, fair. But this could turn out to be a crucial testimony. The cross-examination must go ahead. And he just throws the goddamn bottle! What the hell?
Do what you will. Lord Van Zeeks appears to be in a violent mood. Yes, he does. An attempted poisoning and an incidence of gas theft with no supporting evidence. It's true that they would appear completely unrelated at first glance. But I wonder, the truth tends to be buried in the most unusual places. And the first step is uncovering it, will be to establish just who and what this man really is. Companies in da-da-da and meter money collection agent.
Hold it!
So does that mean you enter people's houses in order to empty their gas meters? That I do! I have to try to catch people when they're in. Then I ask permission to come inside and do my business. Does that mean you've been into Mr. Natsume's room before, as well as that of Mr. Shamspear? Well now, interesting you should bring that up. Cause I couldn't believe how little money was in his meter. I mean, how the pair of them survived the winter is beyond me, it really is. Knowing Mr. Natsume, he probably spends all his gas money on books. And then when he's finished reading them, he probably burns them for warmth.
You will kindly reiterate your statement about the gas meters themselves, Mr. Metalman.
Oh, wait! It's Meterman! Ah! Okay, his name is Meterman. A Drone B and Meterman. Okay. Not much to say, really, but as you wish. Just bleh, tosses. It has the same energy as cosplayers flicking away the cap on a bottle of wine and drinking. Oh yeah! Yeah! I love those videos. They're so funny. They just fucking like and just take chugs of vodka. I love those videos. What does it say now? I'm proud of the all among gas meters except 3 penny bits, each coin given customers about 2 hours of gorgeous gas.
Hold it!
So all London houses that have a gas supply are fitted with these gas meters, are they? They're the latest model, the hydro technology, developed by our company, Altamont Gas. And anyone who uses our gas will have one of these meters in their property, yes. So, if a 3-pence coin gives 2 hours of gas, most people would use about 3 coins in a night? A bit more than that usually, if they have both gas lights and a gas stove, that is. Thinking about it, Sasuke-san doesn't have a fireplace in that room of his, does he? Some people still choose to use candles, of course, and only have gas for heating. Ah, yes, I do remember seeing candles in Mr. Natsume's room, actually. And how does the money in the meter get back to you at the gas company? Every 3 days, gasmen like me visit properties on the gas supply and empty the meters for coins. I must say, the design and manufacture of the new meter cost the company an awful lot of money. But happily, it did put a stop to people not paying their dues, for the most part. Ah, because they had to pay in advance, you mean? Yes, exactly right. It's still wild to me that Shamspear had this, and this guy appears in the first game for one scene, and then never again until this game came out, which was 2 fucking years later. You could consider it like a teaser for this game, maybe. And yet the meter in Mr. Shamspear's room didn't have a single coin in it.
Hold it!
Out of interest, how long has this been going on? Weeks and weeks! He's been pinching gas off of us for ages! And you've examined the meter in Mr. Shamspear's room, I take it? Naturally. We took it off the wall and went over it with a fine-tooth comb. And found nothing suspicious at all, I presume. No, I'm afraid we didn't. Which is exactly why I demanded a new type of meter to be produced. One with an indestructible lock. The Shamspear Special! That sounds like it would cost an awful lot of 3-penny pieces. But even after all that, the rascal's meter is still empty! I'll never forget the humiliation. When I opened up the money box and found a bear. You what? He said. You what? And the look on his face, that smarmy smile of his. Huh. I pulled the meter straight off the wall and took it back to the office. But you know what? Nothing. Not a trace of it being jemmied open anywhere. Not a single sign.
Stop trying to strangle yourself.
And what's happening to my salary as a result? Down by 3 shillings a day, that's what.
A life-threatening situation in a number of ways. Incidentally, what became of that meter?
Nothing became of it. I still got it.
Oh,
Right here.
no wonder they call you Meter Man.
I think it would be prudent for the court to sequester this item while the trial is ongoing.
No wonder when we went into Sam Spear's apartment, it's just, damn bitch, you live like this. Definitely. Although at first glance, there doesn't appear to be anything unusual about it. Let's move this along, shall we? Continue with your testimony. Though I would say it has as much value as the contents of that meter.
Oof. Oof.
Ooh, I love this animation. Look at her go. Alright, before we continue, I want to examine that meter. Alright, let's see. What can we find? Oh. Ah! Oh, what's this?
Have you spotted something, Mr. Naruhodo?
Just here. There's a little hole. Do you see?
Goodness, you're right. I wouldn't have noticed.
It's not a very neat hole, is it? Not professionally made, I'd say.
So, you think it might have been opened up by Mr. Shamspeare?
Possibly. It seems that people of Aunt Mongas must have missed it.
Well, it certainly seems to go all the way through the inside.
Yes, but there's no way a coin could fit through here.
That's true. But even so, it seems more than a little suspicious.
Anything else I can check? That's a very sturdy looking padlock, isn't it?
And the money box is sealed sealed with beeswax too.
So, if Mr. Shones were to get up to any mischief, he'd be found out immediately.
Mr. Naruhodo, mischief of that kind is not the sort of thing that Mr. Shones would...
You know you didn't finish that sentence.
Achi! Hi! Hi!
Yeah, Van Zeeks is here. And I hate him still.
Well, anyway, it's understandable that the gas company would want to safeguard the money that's rightfully theirs.
But it does feel a little over the top, perhaps, doesn't it? Is there anything else to investigate? No? But what? I'm gonna waste the bottle by bludgeoning him in his face. The meter doesn't appear to be tampered with, though, and the collection agent has the only key. Anger. Alright, I think I know what to do here, but I'm gonna save just in case.
But madam, it has been tampered with.
Oh, whoops, I pressed the wrong buttons. Let's go. I think I know what to bring up. I like her animations.
Objection!
There we go. Lady Altamont, I'm afraid to say that this meter clearly does show signs of having been tampered with.
What? Get away! I've been over and over that thing! I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with it!
In that case, what do you have to say about the small hole that's been made at the base of the coin box?
hole. Whoa.
You're right. You're quite right. There is a little hole there. The meters aren't supposed to have that. None of the others do.
In other words, we can assume that Mr. Shamsphere secretly opened up this hole himself.
Yes, I wouldn't be at all surprised. But why?
Hello, Coffee Kindred. Thank you for lurking. I hope you enjoy the sounds of British, or if not, lower the volume, whatever you prefer to do. About to see that they say they went through it with a fine-tooth comb, and then we immediately find a fucking hole in it. What do you expect? They're British. Hi. Yeah. What? I mean, it's tiny. You couldn't get far. You couldn't get a farthing through there.
Lady Altamont, I wonder if you could give the court some more details about your meter design.
You're enjoying the sound of Von Zeke's throwing a bottle in your face. Well, if you're into that, I suppose.
What sort of details?
Well, what I'd specifically like to know is... Comes in with your eyes closed. You come to report that a client is currently releasing a vacancy on their island. Thank you. Okay, now you leave. Okay, no, good. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you. Ah! Ah! Thank you. I appreciate it, truly.
What should we ask? Maybe, I guess both questions are valid. I am about to lose it. How can the meter be dismantled? Dismantled? Yes, given that there are no signs of it having been forced. I'm wondering if perhaps rather than being broken open, it might have been taken apart. Well, yes, that does make some sense. The padlocks are made by a first-class locksmith from the finest quality steel, and the meter box itself is made from plate steel as well, welded shut to ensure it can't be opened again. I can assure you, it's quite impossible to dismantle it.
Woohoo! Yeah! Nothing leaks from an animal meter. No coins, no gas, no nothing. And yet there's a hole.
I see. The witness will amend her formal testimony with that information in case it is pertinent. As you wish, my lord. All joints on the meter are welded shut and the lock is made from solid steel. There's no way to dismantle it.
Hold it!
Has anyone ever tried?
Oh yeah, they've tried, but they've all given up before long.
After all, if they actually broke the meter, the company would be able to take legal action. Yes, that makes sense. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Is its welded steel construction significant? Or perhaps there's some other aspect of the meter's construction that we should be focusing on? Yes, you may be right. Perhaps I should try a different tack here. Like asking how the meter differentiates coins, for example. Delve deeper. How does the meter tell the difference between different coins? What do you mean? Well, for example, if someone were to put in 1 penny coin, that wouldn't work, presumably, would it? No, of course not. So, well, how does the meter know that the coin it's been fed is a threepenny then? Ah, I see what you're getting at now. The meter tells coins apart by their shape and size, which includes their thickness. A threepenny bit is about 3/4 of an inch in diameter, you see. Other coins just won't fit. Ah, I see. It's clearly been very well thought out. The witness will amend her formal testimony with the information in case it is pertinent. As you wish, my lord. The meter is designed for coins the exact diameter and thickness of a threepenny. Nothing else will fit.
Hold it!
conversely then, it would seem that anything matching a 3-pence coin exactly in terms of diameter and thickness could equally well be used. Would, that be true? Well, yes, in a way. The weight comes into it to a certain extent as well.
We've thought of that though. Anyway, if I find any fake coins inside the coin box when I empty the meter, the contract says the customer has to pay 100 times the amount they diddled as a fine. We live for moments like that, us gas men do. Live for them.
It would seem the gas company has thought of everything.
Woohoo! Hurrah for gas! Hurrah for cash! Animal all the way!
That's quite enough of that.
Oh, I love this animation!
Remind me, how big are 3-penny bits? About 3/4 of an inch across. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Is this 2 centimeters measurement significant? Or perhaps there's some other aspect of the meter's construction that we should be focusing on? Yes, you may be right. Perhaps I should try a different tack here. Oh, I have to choose between the two. Okay. I mean, she says that they can't be dismantled, but yet there's a hole. There's a hole right there. So I would say bring back the other bit. There's something from a while ago that I wonder if I remember. Something from a while ago? Let me look at the picture. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Is that gas? Wait, but this is the money box. That's not the gas. Like from last week? From last week? The soap? I'm still wondering about that stain. I'm wondering, when they say gas, do they mean like literal gas, like air gas, or liquid gas? I'm wondering about that. There's also this. There's nothing about this. Hi! Hi, Anti! Soap. I thought we already examined the soap. Oh, wait! Yeah. Oh!
Yeah.
We did find this soap at the scene, didn't we? Yes, yes. There were 2 bars on that little ledge just outside the window, so we took this one. I'm sure that when we first found it, there was some sort of reddish medallion in the middle there. I remember it clearly. Yes, but there's no sign of it now. Okay, interesting. That's weird. Would the bottom of the teacups also be the same size? I don't know. Let me save really quick, because I wonder what would happen if I bring up the hole. Did the soap have to do with the meter box?
Objection.
Okay, the hole does not matter. Blah 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 blah. I'm stupid. So I guess we bring back the coin bit. So let's bring back the coin bit. We gotta fast forward this a little bit. Delve deeper. What about your hole? Hey, none of this about holes now. I was just joking, Your Honor. It was a prank.
Objection.
There we go. Soap. Let me just confirm something here. If the diameter and thickness were to be correct, the meter would accept any object as if it were a threepenny bit. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. Well, by something of a coincidence, while we were investigating you in Mr. Shamspeare's room, we found a particular item that matches the dimensions perfectly. Something the same size as a threepenny bit? What is it? The item in question is this.
Whoa. Have you been inhaling gas? That's a bar of soap.
It certainly looks nothing like a threepenny bit, I must say. Looks like I'm gonna have to point out exactly what I mean here. Why not just show it? You literally just have to... You have to just flip it over. Right there. Right there.
Got it.
You have to turn over the soap to see what I mean. Are you referring to the round depression in the middle of the soap there? That's right. A depression that's approximately 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Or in other words, almost exactly the same size as a threepenny bit.
Get away.
Shamspeare shoved a whole bar of soap in there.
Just squish it into there.
Does anyone here present have in their possession a threepenny bit? Quickly now, hand over your coins, ladies and gentlemen.
It sounds rather like a highway robbery, doesn't it?
Give me your money.
Ah!
Thanks to a kind member of the public in the gallery, I have here a threepenny bit. Now to see if it fits.
Oh!
My word! It couldn't be more snug.
Heh heh heh. Yes, as I suspected. This, without a doubt, is a vital clue to explain how the Altamont Gas Company is being defrauded. Fits just like a glove. Well, I don't believe it. Oh, look at... Oh, she has like a little thing around her waist that looks like bee wings. I love it. I love her design. I love it. She's my favorite design in the game so far.
So, your assertion amounts to what? That some inferior bar of soap has a tentative connection to the theft of gas?
Yes.
The depression in the soap was clearly made by a threepenny bit. I must concur, at least, that pushing a coin with some force into a poor quality bar of soap such as this is a remarkably simple way of replicating the coin's shape.
And then you could use, well, some melted wax or something to pour into the mold. You can make fake coins in no time.
Ah. This brings all the pieces of the puzzle together. It's the method Mr. Shamspeare has been using to steal the gas. That's the missing link. Okay, but like, what does that have to do with the murder? I know they'll be connected somehow, but at the moment, I'm 100% certain Van Ziek's gonna be like, why does this matter? It has nothing to do with the case. You are just wasting time. Blah 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 blah. Is Sholmes dead? No, he's not dead. He's just not here because he doesn't want to be. So we're just dealing with this case ourselves. Now, if I follow the chain of thought, it's going to bring me to a new explanation for what happened that nobody's considered yet. But this is all nonsense! If the man had been making fake coins, my worker here would have found them when he emptied the meter!
Quite true, Lady Altamont. In the absence of some black magic, that could make them disappear.
Oh, wait! Oh, wait. I think I realized. Is this it? Like, oh, I think I get it now. Okay. So, when we first found the bar of soap, it had the thing still in it, but now it's gone. So, I guess it's like to assume that it just like disappeared, like maybe it like faded away or something. So, or like melted and we never noticed. Maybe whatever material he's using for the fake coins, he puts them there, they melt into a liquid, and then he pokes the hole to have it like drip out. And that's what this is. I'm using my brain. I'm probably wrong, but I feel very confident about that that's what's going on. Why else would there be a hole there for like in the coin box? It's so small, no coins fit through it. I can't think of any other reason for it. And that would explain this hole. I mean, not this hole, this puddle. I mean, it would also explain the hole too. My brain is like monkey brain activated. I truly think that's what's going on. Okay.
I see. That's what we're dealing with, is it? There is one form of black magic that could cause the fake coins to disappear into thin air. Yes. Exactly. And the meter here gives it away. What on earth? There are remnants of the magical method used visible on the gas meter taken from the victim's room.
My single brain cell revving furiously. Exactly. Oh, there's remnants? What could the remnants be? The wax, maybe? Oh, I can't save either. Oh no. Oh no. Where on the meter can the remnants of the method used to make the fake coins be seen? This is quite a tough padlock.
What are you doing, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, I was just seeing if it was possible to force it open.
If you break it, I'm afraid you'll be forced to pay a fine.
Oh no! Phew! That was close then. Perhaps tell me a little sooner next time? Okay, not that. So, maybe the hole?
There's this little hole in the bottom of the meter, isn't there? And it looks as though it was made by someone who didn't really have the right tools. It does actually go all the way through to the inside, though it's hard to see that unless you look closely.
Your Honor, poo-poo pee-pee!
In fact, it goes right through the part of the meter where the money ends up.
Poo-poo pee-pee!
I suppose it's nothing then. Oh? Well, you couldn't possibly extract a coin through such a small hole, could you? No, I suppose not. Then the question remains, why would someone go through the effort of making a hole here?
The hole?
Got it!
We found this bar of soap at the scene of the crime just outside the victim's window.
Outside?
Yes, outside, where you yourself, Mr. Meterman, were loitering in the freezing winter air. That's where we found this soap.
Again?
That's right. The answer, of course, is ice. Ah, it's ice! Excuse me, Your Honor. Let me rip a fat one.
Did you say ice?
Mr. Shakespeare has been leaving soaps like this outside his window each evening filled with water. After a night outside in the bitter cold, the water is completely frozen solid the next morning. Ice, ice, baby!
Then he takes his fake coins of ice and feeds them to the gas meter, giving him a light and warmth and spades.
Your Honor, you're cringe, you're bald, ratio. I love that meme. Death. As his room becomes very comfortably warm, ice now inside the Mita's coin box melts, turning back into water, and draining harmlessly away is a small hole made in the underside of the meter. That is how, without leaving any evidence of his wrongdoing, this man has been stealing Altamont gas! I love her eyes, they're very pretty. Just like that. So simply. Is he trying to make us look like idiots? He's been fooling us all with some bars of soap and some water? That's right, madam. I don't believe it! It can't be true! Do you have any idea how much money we spent to develop that new meter? And now you have the audacity to suggest that a bit of soap and some water can render it totally useless! I'm fairly sure I didn't design it. Evidence! Sorry? I want evidence. If you're going to stand there and tell me our meters are rubbish, I want to see proof. She's very good at enforcing accountability, isn't she? Don't cry. Very well, milady Altamont. If you'd like evidence, I'll provide it. What? Mr. Naruhodo, are you saying you do actually have evidence to support this theory? I did notice a trace of something that bothered me a little at the time. I have a feeling that this theory we've come up with now could explain it. The piece of evidence that substantiates the theory about how Mr. Shamsphere has been stealing gas is the picture, right? I would say it's the picture. I think it's the picture. Before that, let's save really quick. You're welcome, bitch. Yeah, how ungrateful. You're hot and you're cold. You're yes and you're no. You're in and you're out. You're up and you're down. You're wrong when it's right. It's black and it's white. We fight, we make up. We fight, we break up. We kiss, we make up. Look at this photograph! Every time I do, it makes me laugh. This is a photograph of the scene at this point when the victim was discovered, taken by Inspector Gregson. And it clearly shows the remnants of the crime carried out by Mr. Shamsphere. What remnants? Right there. See? Have you seen the gas meter on the wall in Mr. Shamsphere's room? Now, look closely at the floorboards directly underneath the meter. Da-da-da-da! What is that? Some kind of grubby stain? Almost certainly, it's a water stain resulting from the liquid that drained out of the hole made in the meter. Yeah! If one coin gives around 2 hours of gas usage, and the occupant was heating his room in all of his waking hours, we can imagine he would have used around 10 of his fake coins each day. The melting ice inside the meter's coin box would have been dripping out almost constantly, leaving a stain on the floor. Why didn't he just put a bucket underneath it? Reuse the water. This is awful. And there's further evidence too. Mr. Shamsphere is slumped over his table, apparently having consumed strychnine? Strychnine. And right there next to him is a bar of soap, broken in half.
You're right. It would appear to me then, counsel, that the man was eating the soap, was he? Pardon me for disagreeing with your lordship, but certainly not.
He didn't beat about the bush there, did he? In truth, Mr. Shamsphere was found with a fork in his hand.
A meal of soap is sounding increasingly likely, Lord Van Zix. Do you mean to say he was using that fork to...
Yes. To extract a frozen coin from the bar of soap. But the bar broke in half. So perhaps it didn't go very well.
Good gracious.
Wow. There he goes. That's bottle number 2. We have, 1 wine glass shattered in his hands, 2 thrown at the candles, and 2 wine bottles being chucked like a bitch. Lord Van Zeeks!
I was throwing my hand up in despair. And happened to catch my hallowed bottle on the way. Pray forgive the maladroit mistake. What is the meaning of this, counsel? Allow me to pose my learned friend a question. What exactly did you establish with your most recent cross-examination?
Yep, there it is. He's gonna be like, why does any of this matter?
Well,
That Mr. William Shakespeare is a liar and a thief. In other words, that his testimony is unreliable. Thank you. That's it! Exactly it!
very well. Let us assume the man is a liar. Now allow me to pose another question. What possible difference does that make?
Well,
we know that suicide can be discounted. Scotland Yard's investigation revealed no signs of another vessel that contained poison. And on the night in question, there were no visitors to the room except the accused. The young gasman's testimony, which we have no reason to doubt, has confirmed that. Furthermore, the only possible way that the poison could have entered the victim's body is via the tea. The court has seen no evidence whatsoever that suggests otherwise. Even if William Shakespeare is the liar you claim him to be, these facts have been objectively established. There's no escaping it. Therefore, in light of these facts, the prosecution calls for immediate adjudication.
you... What?!
Order! Order! Well, counsel, how does the defense respond?
We object, of course. Mr. Nuttall! Get up, boy! What was the point of that last cross-examination? Did it actually get us anywhere? Or did it make no difference at all? Like Lord Van Zeeks is saying, raise an objection! Always raise an objection. No! This isn't over! The defense will not rest!
What? But counsel, you've successfully explained everything. You've identified and substantiated the unscrupulous method employed by Mr. Shakespeare to consume gas. What more is there to discuss?
Lord Van Zeeks just highlighted 3 facts in order to make his point. Contrary to what he would have the court believe, not all of them have been objectively established at all.
What are you trying to say, my Nipponi's friend?
At least one of those so-called facts is an assumption made due to lack of evidence. Ah! But the situation has changed now, following the cross-examination of the latest witness to take the stand.
Don't be absurd! What is this nonsense?
Yes, when you bring everything we've learned so far together and consider it as a whole, it's clear. There's a question that we now need to reconsider, namely, was the poison in the tea? Was someone else responsible? Was there another visitor? Was the poison in the tea? I'm gonna say it was the poison in the tea, because they never really could establish that there was poison in the tea, because there was no tea. We've all been led to believe that the strychnine poison that afflicted Mr. Shakespeare was in the tea brought to him by Mr. Natsume, but that's conjecture at best.
Objection!
The victim has testified that nothing else passed his lips that night. There is no other possibility. And since there was no trace of the tea left at the scene, it couldn't be tested for traces of the poison.
Objection.
As I said, the situation has changed. Because in fact, some of Mr. Natsume's tea was left at the scene. Oh, I think I know what he's going at. And a particular piece of evidence proves it.
Objection.
A ludicrous claim. Scotland Yard's detectives investigated the scene exhaustively. What evidence are you suggesting they missed? The defense has made a bold claim indeed.
Streaming? Streethnine? Is that how you say it? Straining? I've never heard that word, so I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry. What evidence from the scene of the crime can tell us about the nature of the defendant's tea? The picture? Probably?
Take that.
Oh, I guess not the picture. Damn. Okay. I got it wrong. I thought it was gonna be that the stain on the floor was actually the tea. Because I remember when we found the soap, the thing that was here, it was like brownish. So I assumed maybe this wasn't water, but instead tea. But maybe I'm wrong? Oh well. Oh! Biggest Bull! Hi! Hello! Thank you for the raid! Strychnine. Ah, okay, thank you. Hi! Hello! Moo! Yeah! Woo! Oh, hold on. Let me give you a shout out. There you go. If you don't already, please check out my friend, the Biggest Bull. He's a very sweet fellow. And his streams are super fun, and I highly recommend them. Ooh. So it's not the picture. Maybe the teacups? Let me save this time so I don't because I'm kind of shooting in the dark. I'm guessing it was the teacups because, you know, the stain. You're a fella.
Take that.
Okay, not teacups. Okay, I figured it was too obvious. Is it the soap then? What's going on? Okay, so where we last left off, Shamspear, the victim, he's not dead, he's alive. He's accusing our client, Soseki, for poisoning him. And some stuff happened. We find out Shamspear has been siphoning gas. Okay, enjoy your dinner. Gas from his little gas box to steal gas from a company and just get free heat. And he's been doing it by making ice coins with this bar of soap. No, not that. This bar of soap. Right here. And maybe it was the bar of soap.
Take that.
Okay, so it was the bar of soap. Night! Night-night! Thank you for stopping by. It must be an intense fart. So much talk about gas tonight. But yeah, we're trying to... And I have a theory of what we're going, because when we first found this bar of soap, there was something in here and it was brownish. And my theory was that maybe... Shamspear never drank the poison tea, but he used it instead to make a fake coin for his little gas box trick. And that's what this stain is. And that would mean that he was poisoned some other way. That was my theory, but maybe I'm wrong.
The soap again. The same bar the victim used to fashion his coins of ice.
Yes, that's right, my lord. It's just come back to me. Also, there's a really neat looking character that's designed after Queen Bee, and I love her. Something about when we first found this bar of soap at the scene yesterday. It's more bars of soap. Soap? What are bars of soap doing lined up on a ledge outside the window? I'm quite certain that when we originally stumbled upon the bars of soap, there was actually a frozen coin in each bar. So you discovered the gas thief's coin factory. Fascinating. In a way, yes, but there's more. The coins were found in the soap at the time weren't normal ice.
There was something strange about them, you mean?
Exactly. Something very obviously strange. They were red.
The ice was red. No. You mean...
Yeah, there we go. That's right. It's obvious to me now. The fake coins in the soap were made from frozen tea. I'm like stunned that he's actually like just gonna go along with it, because I feel like he would be like, "Where's your proof? You don't have any evidence to support your claim. Therefore, you're bullshit. Die." What? Oh, there she is. That's the Queen Bee character. I love her. I would remind the court of a statement made by Mr. Natsume earlier in this trial. That evening, yes, I did take some freshly brewed tea with me when I visited Mr. Shamspeare's room as a gift. The public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I bought bottled water especially to make it. And this is the result. I will never touch tea again. Never!
Ah, yes. I believe there had been a snowfall that day. It was particularly cold.
So Seki reminds you of Luigi? Aw.
Sadly, on such occasions, the poorly constructed water mains on the east end are prone to freezing.
So on the night in question, Mr. Shamspere, having no running water to use, was forced to use the tea brought by Mr. Natsume in order to make his fake coins.
My word!
Oh, her umbrella is also like the stinger, like, well, not the stinger, like the thorax that queen bees have. Cause like queen bees, their little butts, they're a lot longer and thinner than regular bees. So her umbrella is used to represent that. Man, her design is so good. The more details I notice about it, the better it gets. I love it. You're Luigi coded. There were 2 bars of soap on the ledge, on the window ledge when my judicial assistant and I investigated the scene. That's right, and we only borrowed one of them. Which means that even as I speak, some of the defendant's tea is still present at the scene of the crime, frozen solid in a bar of soap outside Mr. Shamspeare's window. Extraordinary! Earlier today, Inspector Gregson informed the court that even if 1 drop of the tea remained, Scotland Yard would be able to analyze it for poison. As such, we are now in a position to prove or disprove what has until now been mere conjecture, by finding out for sure whether or not Mr. Natsume's tea actually contained, how was it that you said it again? I'm sorry? Strychnine, thank you. Strychnine at all.
Ah! You smug Nipponese!
Fuck you! My lord, we cannot do the defendant the injustice of passing judgment now. The police should be dispatched to recover the remaining bar of soap from the scene at once. And the defense requests a thorough analysis of the frozen tea embedded in it, to determine whether or not it contains any poison. Why is he still so racist?
Bailiff, instruct the police to attend the scene at once. Yes, my lord, understood.
Has he learned nothing? No. Well, okay. Here, to give him the benefit of the doubt, this happens before the end of the previous game. This case we're dealing with right now is like 2 days after the Soseki case from the first game. So, he hasn't gone through the character development yet. If any at all. She really is a bee. Yeah, she is a bee.
It would seem we have no choice but to suspend these proceedings for the time being. I trust you have no objection, Lord Van Zeeks. None, my lord. Scotland Yard will recover the tea from the scene and carry out the requested tests immediately. The trial will resume at the same hour tomorrow. The prosecution and defense may conduct further investigations as appropriate in the interim. Yes, my lord! Well, we managed to scrape through this there somehow. Thank you, counsels. Court is adjourned until tomorrow.
Yay! We did it! Is it to be continued? To be continued! Yeah! Woo, 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 woo! We survived! We got through day 1. Yeah, 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 yeah!
Wait, what happened to our office? Phew. We made it back in one piece. Just... Or did we not set up an office yet? To be perfectly honest, I thought we were finished there for a while.
Oh, I know. What a lot of close shaves. There are so many carriages on the streets of London. You were very nearly flattened several times.
Oh, no, I didn't mean that.
Yes, I know. It was a marvelous defense, Naruhodo-san. It really was. I was in awe of you.
Yeah, I was thinking that the office hasn't been set up yet. Oh, thank you.
And now that your favorite exploits have won us some more precious investigation time, let's see if we can find some new clues for court tomorrow. Yes, let's do that. Is everything alright?
I suppose I still can't quite believe it. That's all. That I'm here in England, working as a lawyer, I mean. In the Old Bailey, no less. Truth is, it shouldn't be me, should it? It should be him standing in my shoes. It should be Kazuma.
It was Kazuma-sama's wish that you follow him to Great Britain and work alongside him.
Yes. I mean, I never had the chance to ask him exactly why, but he clearly had a plan. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him.
And you're doing wonderfully, Naruhodo-san. I've no doubt that Kazuma-sama would say exactly the same if he were here with us.
Thank you, Sasato-san. Thank you.
Oh, Kazuma.
Should we talk to her? It was quite a shock earlier today, wasn't it? When the victim himself turned up in court and took the stand.
I know.
Not only that, but then finding out that he's actually a barefaced gas thief as well.
Yes, that was certainly a surprise to us all. For a while, it seemed as though everyone had quite forgotten about Saseki-san poisoning the tea.
Careful about your phrasing, Sasato-san. He didn't poison anything. And there's more to this Mr. Shamsphere than we yet know. I'm sure of it.
Mr. Shamsphere certainly wasn't the noble, upstanding man everyone thought he was at first.
What's become of him, actually?
I was told he'd be returning to the hospital ward where he was receiving treatment.
Oh, which one is that? She pulled the book out of nowhere because she doesn't have the sleeves. It just appeared in her hands.
Let me see. Ah, yes. He's at St. Bartholomew's or Bart's as he's at St. Bartholomew's or Bart's as Londoners call it.
We know that place, don't we?
Yes, we visited Miss Green there yesterday. It's the same hospital in which she was taken.
Ah, yes, after Saseki-san stabbed her in the back.
Do be careful about your phrasing, Naruhodo-san. He didn't stab anyone.
Perhaps we both owe Saseki-san an apology. St. Bartholomew's. Yeah, she should probably visit the hospital later.
So, we know that Saseki-san took the tea to the victim on the night in question. But as he isn't the culprit, then obviously... Yes, the poison surely wasn't in the tea. But if that's the case, how on earth did the poison get into Mrs. Shamspeare's body? I'm sure we'll find a clue at the scene. There must be something in Mrs. Shamspeare's room that will help solve the mystery. Well, naturally, Scotland Yard detectives have been over the place already. But it couldn't hurt for us to have another look around, I think. Definitely. And I'm desperate to know the outcome of the investigation into the tea left in the bar of soap. Well, if we run into Inspector Gregson, we can ask him about that. Kazuma Asogi, the best friend I ever had, and a lawyer with such promise. He really saved my bacon in that horrible incident just before we left Japan. Did bacon exist at the time? There was bacon. Iris. I forgot her name for a second. Iris did say that she was making, like, bacon for breakfast at one point. So yeah, there is bacon. Kazuma! Oh! I can still picture him now, looking so fierce and determined in court. And then after the trial, that crazy idea he came up with. As a stowaway? Yes. You can fit inside my trunk if you curl up small enough, I'm sure. No one will know. Kazuma, won't you tell me why? Why go to these lengths so that I can accompany you to Great Britain? Well, it's been on my mind ever since we got through the trial. That you really ought to go into law. Be a defense lawyer. You've got a natural talent for it. Believe me, I guarantee it. But I've never even thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, I can't force you, obviously. You'll have to decide for yourself. Oh. Puñeta. Hi, Evelucha. Ay, sea la madre. Coño. I miss Kazuma. I miss my boy. And his forever headband in the wind. Sorry. Sorry. It can't hurt for you to see it with your own eyes. No, that's true. I suppose, though. If you were to become a lawyer, then one day... One day... what? Oh, no. Never mind. Naruhodo-san? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking about Kazuma. Yes, he's forever in my thoughts, too. To change the Japanese judicial system for the better. That was his dream. And that's why he was so desperately wanted to come to Great Britain to study, of course. Yes, that's right. But... Yes? I do wonder if his true intentions lay elsewhere sometimes. I don't know. The thought just takes hold of me every now and then. That's all. Naruhodo-san, what do you mean by Kazuma-sama's true intentions? Oh! What the fuck? Why you just... Oh, that scared me! It just... Whoop! I just imagine, like, the fucking... The cartoon, like, slide whistle as he lifts it up. The... I mean this. His katana? I never expected to inherit this sword after Kazuma passed away, of course. No, I know. It was because I asked you to take it. When I have it at my side in court, I feel as though it gives me courage. Yes. Actually, the night before he died, he told me a little about the sword. Ooh. Karuma? Doom Eternal. That's right. It's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. So cool! So cool! So cool! So cool! So cool! So cool! A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryunosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Karuma guides me. I truly believe that. So, its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two. Not that you would need much compelling. So dead! So dead! So dead! So dead! So dead! Fuck off! Don't remind me. On that subject. There's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain. Something you have to do? Yes. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. Karuma. Is that just like a weird way of saying karma? I think someone mentioned that. Maybe Noka did. What did he mean by something very important that I have to do? I had hoped that the answer to that question would become apparent when we arrived here, but as yet, I've not found a single clue. I see. Alright, we're done here. Let's get out of here. Maybe Sholmes is here. Not Von Karma, but just Karma. No! Iris! Oh, Bruno and Susie! Hooray! You're back! Hello, Iris. You're in fine spirits as always, I see. I am. And you look as immaculately presented as ever, Susie. Oh, you flatter me. Yeah, you couldn't have come at a better time. I've just made a pot of tea. I'll set some cups. Really? Thanks, Iris. But actually, what is that foul smell? Aha! The Wanderers return at last. Where on earth had the pair of you been? We've been in court. Oh, for Mr. Mustache's case. That was today, was it? I'm sure I mentioned it only yesterday, Mr. Sholmes. I'm sure you think you did. Well, we can laugh about it now. So tell me, how did the trial go? Reasonably well so far. We managed to escape without a guilty verdict, at least. Really? I would have liked to see it. And I must pass the time of day with Mr. Reaper again. It's been too long. Is Lord Van Zeeks an acquaintance, Mr. Sholmes? Naturally. There's not a person in the world who doesn't know my name, Mr. Naruhodo. Not quite what I asked, but still. Mr. Sholmes, whatever is that odor? Yes, what is it? It's faint, but absolutely awful. Ah, indeed. That's the scent of victory, my dear fellows. Victory in science. Oh dear. Alright, I'll bite. What's he up to now? What's the cat boy up to? Lord Van Zeeks. Oh, I just realized he has a different pipe in this costume. Huh, that's a nice little touch. Lord Beric Von Zeeks. Yes, an interesting sobriquet he has, isn't it? The Reaper of the Bailey. Once the legendary prosecutor has fought for someone's conviction, that person is doomed. Wrong? He's a fox boy? Not a cat boy? If you say so.
Even if he or she is found not guilty by the courts, sooner or later the hapless soul will vanish from the capital.
But vanish how exactly?
By falling under a passing carriage or drowning in the Thames, or succumbing to a sudden fever, or quite out of the blue, being set upon by a highwayman. There are numerous routes to one's final terminus, my dear fellow.
I mean, it kind of looks like a cat to me. I brought it up that it could be a kitsune mask one time, and then everyone told me it was a cat. What the fuck? Make up your damn minds. Jeez.
It all seems a little far-fetched, really. Well, on the bright side, Mr. Mustache is fighting fit, for the time being at least. That's not overly reassuring.
I said that, but everyone told me it was a cat! So I just, okay, he's a cat boy. Because, you know, cats are kind of prevalent in this game, and he has the mannerisms of a cat boy. But sure, fine, whatever you say.
If the rumors are true, though, the obvious conclusion would surely be that those acquitted are, well, by Lord... Would surely be that those acquitted are, well, by Lord Mantique's own hand. As it happens, Mr. Sato, that is quite impossible.
Oh? Why?
Naturally, the man very quickly came under such suspicion. However, whenever these incidents occurred, the Reaper has always had a cast iron alibi.
Really?
And so his reign continued. But 5 years ago, he vanished from the courts, never to appear as a prosecutor again. That is, until you arrived in the country, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, so I've heard. In fact, it was the very day I arrived when I was thrust into that trial at the Old Bailey. That bitter fight to the death coincided with the Reaper's resurrection. And really did end bitterly indeed. And here you are, facing Mr. Reaper again.
Poor Bruno. I don't know if you're just incredibly unlucky or incredibly unlikable.
I think it goes deeper than just me. I sense a general loathing of all Japanese people.
Okay, but what's that smell, though?
So, what is that
Indescribably foul smell.
Ah, well, most probably this, I would say. What is that?
My dear fellow, it is of course my latest invention. A chemical test that can identify whether or not tea is genuine at the drop of some tea.
Oh my.
We'll probably need that. There are some unscrupulous sorts manning the stalls along some of London's less frequented streets. They regularly sell what purports to be high-quality tea, but it is in fact merely dyed leaves of drab flavor. How very convenient indeed! Well, that's certainly unsavory behavior. So, when one is presented with what appears to be black tea, one must be careful. Iris! At the ready, Thank you. Iris, thank you for the thought. At the ready, Hurley. You're really enjoying those emotes, huh? Let us add a drop of my chemical to this cup of tea here. Do you see what happens? Oh, it turns black. It's turned completely black. And what if... What? What? Quit! What? What was that? Wait. I didn't see... Wait. Oh! Oh! Gamardes, thank you for hosting! Thank you, thank you, thank you! I didn't see the notification. I had to, like, open up OBS. They make you so happy. I'm so glad. I'm really, really glad, honestly. That makes me smile. Indeed, the blacker the tea becomes, and the more foul the odor, the better the tea is. It would appear that this cup was a particularly fine Darjeeling. That's very ingenious, but what do you do with the black liquid now? You throw it away. Why, dispose of it naturally. Surely you wouldn't drink it. You wouldn't like to drink it, would you?
There does seem to be a rather obvious problem with your new invention, Mr. Sholmes.
Hence why this chemical test is merely a test, my dear madam. Right. The point is, we are entering a new era of science, and the world of criminal investigation also.
Yes, forensic science.
Oh, these are such exciting times! I regularly engage in this scientific experimentation alongside my unofficial consulting detective work. The Sherlock-Holmes method will be the foundation upon which modern investigative techniques is based. This little tea indicant was a happy byproduct of my ongoing forensic science research. Forensic science? I suppose I should find out more about that. Okay, but first, racism. With Mr. Natsume, who I'm currently defending, being Japanese, as well as Mr. Sato and myself, I felt it even more keenly in court today. For some reason, Lord Van Zeek seems to have an inherent disdain of the Japanese. Indeed. It is an interesting observation.
Do you know something about it? Do you, Mr. Sholmes?
Well, do you? It was about 10 years ago that Barak von Zeeks chose to enter the legal profession. However, before that time, the young man's closest companion hailed from the Empire of Japan.
Eh? Quit?
No! What the? Tell us more, Mr. Sholmes! What happened? Don't leave us hanging, man! I believe I've made it clear before. I'm unable to tell you anything about the affair.
Oh, but...
The veil will be lifted on the events of the past in due course, I have no doubt. For now, however, it is Mr. Mustache who is most deserving of your attention, I believe. So, your tea test, is that an example of forensic science? Indeed it is. An essential tool in cases that hinge on the knowledge of whether some tea is of high or inferior quality. Foxboy Sholmes. I'm expecting, next time we see him, the next I stream this, I'm gonna call him a fox boy, and then someone's gonna be like, no, that's a cat boy. It's like... Not a huge number of cases, then. Perhaps a more practical example is required. Fingerprints? Not yet accepted in our court as evidence, I might add. Really, we are dragging our heels there. I hadn't even heard of them until recently. Which is partly why I undertake research in this field myself, of course. I'm going to strangle you, Oz. Does that mean you're studying fingerprints, Mr. Sholmes? There are others in that field already, and I abhor the company of inferior minds. No, I am a researcher of skin prints? What? Skin prints? A nomenclature of my own design, as is this chemical agent that makes it possible. It instantly reveals objects touched by whichever person is under investigation.
Brilliant, Mr. Sholmes!
As long as it doesn't turn everything completely odorous and black. I assure you, my dear fellows, you will witness my forensic talents in action very soon indeed. Taka's not here! You're lying. Taka's not here. Now he is. Well, I think we should go back to the scene and see if we can uncover any new clues.
That's the spirit, Bruno. See you later.
Yes, until later. No, Mrs. Sholmes, we were thinking you'd come with us. You what? Yes, of course! You said so just a moment ago! You said we witnessed your forensic talents in action! Ah, yes, I do recall something along those lines. But you go on ahead. I shall be sure to follow you later, in all likelihood. Probably. Maybe. Well, I might. Your commitment astounds me.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes. We'll eagerly await your arrival.
Bye-bye, Reno. Bye-bye, Susie. Bye. Bye.
Let's see. We should go to Miss Green's hospital bed. The mouse is still there.
Oh, shit! A rat!
Yeah.
What do you suppose is happening? It sounds like some sort of disturbance. Yes, I hear angry voices. Oh!
Be not angry, O ample lady. Verily thou art mistaken.
Mistaken my foot! You were looking at my painting!
The eye of man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen. 'Twas foul indeed, the poison that mustached villain gaveth me. Forgive me, lady.
I wish that you died from that poison. Whoa! Whoa!
Whoa! I was not expecting that out of her mouth. What a good name, Shamspear.
God on mercy, ample lady, but thou seest, I have vigor still. Behold, my Shakespeare dance!
This looks rather ominous, doesn't it?
Ah, lo, 'tis the lawyer from the land where whence rises the sun. How now?
What are you doing here, Mr. Shamspear?
Mary, I do believe I am returned unto another world.
He was looking! That's what he was doing! Looking at my terrible work!
Eastern fellow, so darkly clad. Faith, thy work in court this morning was wonderful. I do applaud thee.
Oh, well, thank you.
But that doesn't mean things will go so wonderfully for you tomorrow, does it?
Oh. Okay.
Anon, exeunt.
Someone clip this? Okay, please someone clip it. I want the Shamspear dance to be immortalized. Mr. Shamspear might technically be the victim of this case, but there's definitely a lot more to it than that. It's very hard to pin the man down. I don't think it's metal. I don't think it's actual goat. It's probably like rubber or something. I think it's like some cheap prop, and that's why he was able to bend it. He's a fucking 4chaner! I'm so sorry. I'm such an awful person. Miss Green, is everything alright?
Oh, yes. I mean, don't worry about me. They're about to discharge me, so I must get ready to leave now.
Oh, I see.
We're delighted that you'll soon be well enough to go home, Miss Green. Oh dear, you're too kind. I don't deserve it.
Don't be so hard on yourself, girl. It's okay.
I hope so for Yunosuke's sake, otherwise Shamsuri is gonna punch a hole through him.
Yeah, I don't think he's that strong.
I refuse to believe he's that strong. Wait, is there something over here? Okay. Let's go talk to her. So, are you feeling more like yourself today, Miss Green?
I am. Thank you. I mean, people do recover from ordeals like this, don't they? Even people like me.
Well, yes, it really was an ordeal, wasn't it?
As far as I was concerned, I was just walking along in the snow one evening, minding my own business. And then, completely out of the blue, I was struck in the back by a knife and collapsed unconscious for days. Of course, when I finally woke up again yesterday, the whole business had been cleared up already. What a terrible week it's been for you. Oh, no, I'm sure I'm very lucky, really. I look back on this fondly.
Really?
Anyway, I must be getting my things together now, so I'm ready to be discharged.
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry to take up your time when you're obviously busy. Let's see, what's over here? Is there anything to investigate? Anything new, perhaps? Maybe we can look at the picture again? Or... Oh, shit! Oh, rat! Look, there's a photograph in this frame here. It's a man. Oh, was he painting her in the background? Oh, were they sweethearts? Oh, cute. Oh, yes, it's a picture of a young gentleman. He looks to be about the same age as Miss Green, I would say. Eat the rat. Perhaps the young woman's special someone, do you think?
My, Mr. Naruhodo.
I didn't know you had a sense for matters of the heart. Not in the least. I sincerely said the first thing I thought of. I don't think there's anything to investigate.
Oh shit, a rat!
I guess we'll come back here later. Those are some big-ass cups of tea. Oh! Hello again, Inspector Gregson.
What are you doing here?
Well, we were hoping to have another look around, actually.
The lawyer representing the defendant has a right to examine the scene, as I'm sure you are aware.
Yeah, I know this girl.
Oh, yes, one other thing. The soap on the ledge outside the window. Did you find it? With the tea in it?
Yeah, we found it alright. And there was a small amount of tea in it, as you said.
I knew it!
Gregsy!
It's with the identification section of the yard now. They're looking into it. The results should be available later today.
That's wonderful news, thank you!
Pretty impressive performance in court this morning.
Sorry?
No, nothing, forget it. Just make sure you don't disturb anything here.
Aw, he paid us a little compliment. Hehehe. There he is. Look at him. He's just there. Every time, he's like a fucking jump scare. Every time. The man, the myth, the legend. Who's that Pokemon? Let's see. Let's investigate the teacups. Ah, the ill-fated teacups from which the two men drank on that ill-fated night. During their heated literary debate, yes. Who's stronger, Romeo or Juliet? It sounds like it was quite a discussion. Now I think of it,
I'm sure that the two lovers in the play ended their lives with poison.
That's fiction, Mrs. Sato. Let's hope it stays that way. Gregson is like glaring at him. Oh yeah, you're right!
If you ran out of change, you wouldn't even have any light, let alone heat. For the needy, London's winters can be very harsh. That's true, but if you think about it, even the wealthy would find themselves freezing if they ran out of small change. London's winters can be very harsh for the forgetful too, then. Frankly, I'm starting to wonder if Sasato-san and I are going to make it to spring. That's true. We don't even have a meter at Baker Street, let alone a gas stove. Look how dark the stain on the floor is underneath the meter here. Yes, and all the water dripping out after the ice coins melted, as you established in court this morning. It's a very large and obvious stain, isn't it? Mr. Shamspeare must have used an awful lot of ice coins, I suppose.
It was an ingenious idea, I give him that. Yeah, you gotta admit, it was kind of a smart idea.
The sun never shines in this room, thanks to that depressing bricked-up window. Yet, with enough determination, you can always remove the bricks to set some soap outside, can't you?
That sounds like a very wise life lesson, Mr. Sato.
Only if you plan to follow a life of crime, Mr. Naruhodo.
Let's talk to Greg Z. So who killed Shamspeare? Well, Shamspeare's not dead. He was poisoned, but he didn't die. Right now we're trying to prove that it wasn't our client, Saseki-san, who poisoned him. And we brought up the theory that there possibly wasn't even any poison in the tea. So he was poisoned by some other method, by someone else. As for who it is, we have no idea. I honestly don't know who to suspect. Maybe the bee guy? Maybe the bee guy. I mean, he has access to gas or something. Maybe it was like gas poisoning? I don't know. You think you know who it is? Is it Van Zeeks? Is it Look At Me? Is it Sholmes? It was Morgan Fay. She's not even alive at this time!
Are you looking for new clues, Inspector?
German voice. Gas!
On Lord Van Zieg's orders, yes. Don't come back till you got something for me, he says.
Oh dear. Who are you?
Yeah, poor me. Because we've already searched every blatant nook and cranny in this place. I don't know what he expects, to be honest. Thank goodness for warm chips. That's all I can say.
Well, at least he's honest.
Okay, so now to address the whore in the room. Mr. Sholmes, what are you up to over there? What a question indeed. Was it not your good self who asked me to attend the scene?
Oi! What are you doing here? What are you doing here, Sholmes?
What are you up to over there? What are you doing here? Dear me. Once a great detective, one is always under scrutiny, it seems. You know what these two kind of remind me of a little bit? These two, like, I know Sholmes isn't a criminal, but him and Gregson kind of give me a Lupin and Zenigata kind of vibe, and I find that adorable.
Is now the time, Mr. Sholmes? Are you about to show us your forensic talents in action as you promised?
With the greatest of pleasure, my dear madam. Alright, let's see what he's gonna do. Ooh! He's wearing... Oh my god, it lights up! Oh my god! All this is precisely what you requested, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah, gun! Almond and Roquefort, yeah. Them too. Herlock Sholmes' sensational skin print seeker gun. Moments ago, I took a sample of the teacup that was used by the victim. A sample? From Mr. Shamspeare's cup?
Each individual leaves microscopic secretions on everything he or she touches. Oil, right? A sample of those secretions is all I need to produce this, or find indicator solution. By liberally spraying the room with this chemical, everything the victim touched is instantly revealed with the aid of these goggles. Here, try them. Oh! There. Now spray the chemical indicator about, and all will be revealed. Spray? How do I do that exactly? A little press of the A button on the area you're interested in is all that's required. Like this! Ah! Ah! What is that stuff? It's like fog! A suspension of the chemical indicator in a pressurized gas. It's the most efficient way to cover the large area. I like how they just give Sholmes technology that definitely doesn't exist yet just cause. Yeah, because like the way they're justifying is that he's a big genius, so he invents his own things. So it's like, you know, we can give him some neat trinkets that aren't used like in professional like forensics and by cops because they're made by a crazy person. As you do. Go ahead, try it, my dear fellow. We may learn something interesting about the victim's movements on the night in question. Well, there's nothing to lose, I suppose. Let's explore. Alright, we gotta spray everything. Okay. Whoa! Whoa! What is going on there? So there are. Great many indeed. So much so that it's hard to make out any individual print, in fact. Oof. It sends a chill down my spine. Perhaps he was leaning against the wall while he admired this picture? Unlikely, I would say. It's a rather dull scene, after all. And without wishing to state the obvious, you wouldn't generally admire a picture from such close quarters, I feel. Oh, very true, Mrs. Sato. It's a bit of a mystery, then. That's freaky looking. There we go. Oh, what? Do we just spray everything? I wonder if something's supposed to happen. Like maybe there's something we're missing? Or did we spray everything that there can be sprayed? Oh, I can't back out, so there's gotta be something I'm missing. Oh, hello. Oh, look at all this here. Ah, yes, interesting. A multitude of the victim's handprints. Why are there so many of them on the floor in this one spot? Oh, perhaps he had a bad fall just here? There's nothing obvious that he would have tripped over, though, is there? I wonder. Personally, I often stumble when there's nothing obvious to trip over. I think that's something only a great detective would do, Mr. Sholmes. Well, this is quite a puzzle. Handprints all over the floor. Yes, there's no obvious explanation. Can you lift it? Well, we sprayed Mr. Sholmes' amazing skin print indicator all over this room, didn't we? I like how maybe he gets in his hands and knees often. I don't want to think about that. We did, but there are two places in particular that are of interest, I would say. The handprints on the floor there, and on the wall by the picture. Oh, that was Rinosuke. The handprints on the floor there and on the wall by the picture, you mean?
Yes, and I think the floor warrants closer investigation. I won't be a moment.
Oh, look at her go.
Huh?
What is it, Mrs. Sato?
Look here, Mr. Naruhodo. One of the floorboards has popped out.
One of the... You mean, it's a secret hiding place?
Excellent work, Mr. Sato.
So, what do we have in here?
Oi! What are you lot doing?
Inspector Gregston!
Stand aside right this minute. It's my job to investigate there.
No need, Inspector. You'll continue to dig into your portion of chips whilst we dig around under the floor here.
Your fancy talk's putting me off on my food anyway, Sholmes. A new bit of evidence is exactly what I need.
Alright, let's see. Wow, a secret hiding place hidden under the floor. What a find.
It's not a hiding place you could make use of in Japan. I don't think I could lift a straw tatami mat.
No, I know, but I never expected one of these wooden floorboards to move either. It's got me wondering about the wall over there too. Aren't you curious?
Oh! I'll investigate at once.
There she goes. Oh, is it nothing?
There's nothing behind the picture, sadly. Only the wall.
How disappointing. But then, how do we explain the handprints?
I really can't think why anyone would have been touching the wall over and over in one place like that. Click! Where?
There you are. A print for you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. This invention can make prints too? Now then, I wonder if Inspector Gregson has found anything under the floor there.
I'm desperate to know.
Man, if Benito Sato is the pro tag of the second game, yeah, it kind of made me think that for a second, since you do play as her in the first case, but it's just no. I would have liked it. I don't know if they'll do it, but I'm hoping that they do like this thing where it's like a back and forth kind of thing, because this is technically a flashback case. Maybe the next case we'll play as Sato again, like taking another case in Japan, or like coming back to Great Britain or something. I don't know. I want to play as Sato again. She's cool. I like her. She's funny. She is funny. Bum 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 bum. Hey yo, Gregsy, what you find? I'd love to know if there's anything hidden underneath the floorboard there. Allow me to ask Gregson now. After all, we're well acquainted. Inspector Gregson, really? It's been too long. What is it, Sholmes? I thought perhaps you might show me what you found there, seeing as we're such good friends. We're not friends. No, I suppose not. He got sad!
A dismal failure.
Yes, I heard. Ugh, I'd kill to know what was under the floorboard. Well, alright then. Fair's fair. What? You did discover the hiding place after all. I suppose I should at least fill you in. Really, Inspector? Thank you! Do it quickly, my dear fellow. If there's one thing I know about this man, it's that he blows with the wind, as fickle as the weather.
Oi! Stop making me out to be some kind of nut!
There were 3 items under the floor there. A newspaper clipping, a photographic print, and a tin box. Now, what do you want to know? The tin box. Now this tin box looks interesting, doesn't it? Might I suggest, Inspector, that you open it? If you were to find something inside that reveals the truth behind this case, I wouldn't be in the least surprised.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I've already had a look.
Yeah.
It's completely empty. What? Shakespeare! Give us a clue, man!
You didn't even have the chance to utter a word, Mr. Nottingham. But anyway, at least we found out what's inside the box.
Yes, thin air. It's empty. Rather like how I feel inside.
Is there nothing more to this box then? I wonder.
Can we keep it in the court record? Okay, never mind. What about the photographic print? Oh! So, this is the photograph I found. Looks reasonably recent to me. Hmm?
Aw, what? Cute!
Yes, it appears to... It would appear to have been taken on the street in front of the house here.
Garrideb looks so happy. And the gentleman on the left is Mr. Garrideb, the landlord, of course.
But who's the young man on the right? Mr. Garrideb's son, perhaps? Oh? Perhaps. You can take that print if you like.
Really? Are you sure?
We can presume, therefore, that the Yard already knows. The identity of the young fellow, that is.
Ah! Is that true?
Well, it's too bad if we do. Unfortunately for you lot, linking information isn't one of our pastimes. My dear Inspector, if I may be so bold as to point something out. Pastimes are for one's leisure, but this is for work.
All the more reason I'm not telling you!
A dismal failure! Yes, I heard.
I wonder why a photograph like this was hidden under the floor. I mean, Mr. Shakespeare himself isn't it? Photographic prints are still rare treasures in the East End.
I imagine Mr. Garrideb was rather delighted to have been immortalized. He probably made a proud present of it.
What's a newspaper clipping?
Looks like this was cut out of the paper about 3 months ago. It's about a convict who got sick and died while he was serving time up in Manchester.
Gomenasai! Namae wa Shonzu-sama. How terrible.
Made the headlines down here in London as well. The bloke had been sentenced to death, you see, but nature got to him first.
Oh my goodness! He committed a capital offense?
A man by the name of Selden. A nasty piece of work into burglaries and murder. They say the hoard he knocked off was worth about £1,000.
A hoard? A treasure, you mean?
Jewelry and lock. But he hidden it somewhere, and no one knows where. And now he's dead. The papers loved it, of course. £1,000 lost en route to hell. Or some such was the headline.
It certainly wasn't a lowercase offense. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Does not strike you, though? Why such an article would be so carefully ensconced under the floor? I suppose now you mention it, it does seem a bit odd. Perhaps I'll go over the paperwork we've got on Selden back at the Yard and see if I can turn anything up.
Give Gregson a cat ears? I would love to give him cat ears. Speaking of cats! Gatito! Gatito! El pequeño meow meow! Oh look! It's that lovely little kitty cat. What was its name?
It's Mr. Natsume's, isn't it? I don't think we ever asked him, actually.
I'm not eating the cat!
Why don't we call it, Wagahai? You know, like Mr. Natsume refers to himself in Japanese. I wonder how he got in here. Clever cat.
Oh, wonderful! Well then, Wagahai, here's something delicious I brought for you from the cat's meat man. Gatito! Meow! Aww! Aww! Kitty! Archie, you summoned Wagahai! Oh, thank you. He do be looking pretty fly in that bow tie, though.
Yeah!
Ugh, thank you for the leg stretch.
He couldn't be happier now. Look. I just hope we can bring some happiness to his owner, too.
Gatito.
It was bacon biscuits. So cute. It came from here. So cute. Kitty. I love cats. Oh, so cute. Meow. Why is that man on his hands and knees? Oh, we found out that the floorboard is loose and he was investigating it, and he found 3 items inside. An empty tin box, a newspaper clipping about a criminal who hid some treasure but died, so no one knows where it is, and a picture of Mr. Garadeb and a young man. And we've seen that young man before. He was in a picture in Miss Green's hospital bed, a hospital room. So it might be interesting. We should probably present that to her if we can.
Meow.
That was a cheeky little meow, Wagahai. Pet cat. Oh, but he's so adorable. Look at him! Look at him! I could sit and watch him forever. I think he may not appreciate that after a while, and we have an investigation to get back to.
Gatito. Gatito.
Isn't it late for me? It is a little late. Let me check something. Maybe it's something in Briar Road? Nope, nothing here. What about Mr. Garadeb? I want to present him the picture and see what he says. Never mind, he's out. Mr. Garadeb appears to be out. Oh well. I suppose we'll just have to come back here again later. Damn, okay. I guess we go to prison? Maybe you can talk to Natsume. Oh! He's kind of Blair Witching it back there. Oh, Mr. Natsume is back. So he is. Mr. Natsume, hello! I am a cat. Sorry? I don't know who Mr. Natsume is, or Herlock Sholmes. I don't know what about courts or trials or Old Baileys. I am a cat. That's what I am. Just a cat. My little meow meow. Mr. Naruhodo, he's trying to escape from reality. Trying to? He already has. Completely. I love him too. He's so great. So, what is your name then? He's so pathetic. As yet, I have no name. Mr. Naruhodo, he hasn't fully thought out his new identity yet. Maybe it's not too late to bring him back to reality. Do you think you could open your eyes for us, Mr. Natsume? He looks like he's holding his fart. There you are. Back to reality. I am not a cat. It worked! He's back in the real world. What's going on? What's going to become of me? No! Don't answer that! It's obvious! My accursed soul is never going to escape this accursed fate! Mr. Natsume, no! This morning's proceedings in court prove that there's hope! Yes. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire was brilliant, but... The Reaper is omnipresent in court, in my lodgings, here, there, everywhere! What's he looking straight at me for? I think perhaps there are some things we should discuss. Oh, yes. Yes, we must. Susato, you have ruined this man's life with reality. Alright, let's talk to him. In my whole life, have I ever been so moved as I was today? No! Of course, if I cast my mind back, there were perhaps one or two other occasions that moved me more. But if I just block those out, then today, being in that courtroom was it was the most moving experience of my life! Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! You're too kind. Scotland Yard found the remaining tea just as we deduced, and are analyzing it as we speak. There's nothing wrong with that tea! They won't find a drop of poison in it! That's a solemn sworn Soseki certainty! Soseki! Tell me, did you both drink the tea at the same time that night? Oh yes, most definitely. Remember, drink tea while it's hot. We both poured it down our throats like it was a hot bath for our bellies. And at the time, you were both completely fine. As shown by the fact that he and Mr. Shamspear then engaged in the Romeo and Juliet match. I'm so glad everyone has these ridiculous dances and poses. They do, but Soseki-san is the king of ridiculous dances and poses. Well, the Shamspear dance might be close. That kind of threw me off. I suppose the focus of tomorrow's proceedings will be how the poison was taken by the victim then. Tell you what though, I miss those hoodlum fellows from the first game. I miss them too, actually. I hope they're okay. They're in jail 100%. But I hope they're not, you know, like being convicted of a capital offense, because they were just accessories. They didn't really I mean, they did shoot a man. They should be in jail. But still, they were fun. They were fun-y. That rotten Shamspear! What have I ever done to him? I don't recall him taking issues with you over anything. You don't recall him taking issues with you over anything you've done recently? I've been holed up in my room, immersed in books. Well, yeah, I know, but I mean like in present time. I also miss coming up with different versions of airtight gas masks. Who knows? Maybe we'll find it. Maybe we'll encounter a different villain for you to make funny names for. I've been holed up in my room, immersed in books. I don't recall anything. Anything at all! Right. But what I don't understand is why he didn't let me know sooner. Let you know what, Mr. Natsume? About the soap, of course. What else? Oh dear. Are you struggling with such a meager stipend? Of course I am! If I had money! I wouldn't have chosen to live an accursed existence in such accursed lodgings! Oh yes, you said it's because the place is cursed that it's so cheap, didn't you? Exactly! Especially the room that I rent. The spirit of that capital offender who lived there still haunts that place, and it's trying to kill me! Capital offender? Oh? Might I ask, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, that the next time you visit me, you bring scores of super soft soaps. Maybe we should present him some stuff. We should also look at the evidence. We didn't examine it. So there's like a whole bunch of pictures here. There's this guy. And this. Condemned criminal dies of natural causes in prison. Manchester Strange Ways Prison announced the death of convicted murderer and burglar Selden by natural causes in the early hours this morning. He had been suffering with fever since the end of October. Alerted by the shouts of his fellow cellmate, medical staff arrived to find him already dead, before his capital punishment could have been carried out.
What's this?
It's a newspaper cutting that we found in Mr. Shamsphere's room.
Ah, so he knew, did he? Sorry? About this man, Selden. A convicted killer. And the evil spirit behind the curse that afflicts my lodgings!
What?
Saseki, what do you think of furries? He's already taken one young man's life, and now he's trying to take the life of another! A miserable mustached, much maligned Japanese man!
Mr. Natsume, if you know something else, you must tell us. Tell us everything you know about this evil spirit. Capital offender Selden.
The truth is, I didn't know the details myself until very recently. That Selden man was arrested about a year ago now, and at the time he was hiding out in lodgings at Mr. Garadev's house.
What? He lived where you do now?
That's right, yes, exactly where I live now, in my very room.
Oh my! Your room was previously occupied by a criminal found guilty of a capital offense?
But before his sentence could be carried out, he died in prison. That was 3 months ago now. And that's why it started. The curse.
What really is this curse you keep mentioning, Mr. Natsume?
It's already caused one death, a few months after the criminal passed away in prison. A man died in the room. The man who rented it after Selden, in fact. The poor lodger. He was found dead in mysterious circumstances. The room was locked from the inside.
Locked from the inside? Exactly like the case we're dealing with now. So, that's the convict's curse, is it?
Yes. Well, that was the start of it.
Do you have any idea how the lodger before you passed away, Mr. Natsume?
The official cause of death was asphyxia. Hold on. Wait. Where were the details of the poison?
Did we not have details of the poison? Fuck. I strangely remember that I think the poison causes asphyxiation. I think Gregson mentioned it. Maybe it's a coincidence, but...
When he discovered the body, the room was full of
I was right! Gas?
I only found that out after I'd signed the lease. When Mr. Garadev came to tell me later, I couldn't stop myself trembling. In fact, if I'd known beforehand, I'd probably have been too scared to take the room. Landlord's lease, luckily legal!
Lucky for Mr. Garadev, maybe, but not so lucky for poor Mr. Natsume. The gas. And now you believe this curse is affecting you?
It is. At first, I just felt as though I was being watched. All the time.
And then you talked about having nightmares, didn't you?
The dead are trying to take me with them. They come for me and try to suffocate me.
You're gonna lurk? Okay, no worries. I might wrap up once we finish interrogating Saseki. Once we finish talking with him, I might end the stream. If I don't make it back before the end, I hope you have a good one. Thank you!
Just when I'm struggling to breathe, I wake up, and the room is as cold as ice!
But why is your room so cold?
London winters are too cold to bear without any heating on overnight. But for some reason, even though I light the stove before I climb into bed at night, the pilot light always goes out, and the room fills with gas.
But that's terrible!
Once you finish interrogating not Saseki, I was trying to
I was gonna say Natsume, but then for some reason I tried to switch to Soseki. I don't know why. Both are his name. Sorry. That's exactly the same situation as what led to the previous occupant's death. And then there's what happened to Mr. Shamspeare last night, when he was mysteriously poisoned. There's clearly more to that incident that can be explained by a curse, though. Whatever can be the cause of all these strange happenings in Mr. Garadev's room? Alright, that seems like all about we're gonna get. Okay. Let me go back to Mr. Let me go back to Briar Road. Anything happen here? Nope. Mr. Garadev room? Oh? Oh! Hey! There he is. Ah, you're here now, Mr. Garadev.
What ball business is it for me, you know? Getting out and about.
Were you at the Old Bailey by any chance?
Naturally, fate of my lodgings hangs in the balance of all that. No trial miss.
The fate of what's already been dubbed your haunted lodgings, yes.
Of course, the place has caused quite a stir around the capital on more than one occasion already. As the old haunted lodgings or some such.
Ah. Well, at least he knows.
Makes you wonder what the blaze is going on, don't you know?
Oh, Sholmes is still with us? Yes, I'm sure it does. In fact, thinking back to Mr. Natsume's other trial, just 2 days ago. You were at the Old Bailey then as well, weren't you? Testifying with your wife about what happened.
Stopped off at the prison on the way home. In fact, beastly business.
I see.
So, what brings you to my haunted abode today?
Alright. Okay, we're gonna stop there. So we're gonna save. And we're gonna finish it off there, but before we do, let me check if maybe anyone's online to raid, perhaps? Let's see. No, not really. Goodbye, Moon Man. Alright, we'll leave it there then. Thank you everybody for stopping by. And I really appreciate it. I also appreciate the raid and the host. It make me happy. It made me smile. And I'll be playing this game again on Monday. Wednesday is gonna be art stream as normal. I'm gonna be doing a little fun thing on Wednesday that I thought of. I mentioned it on Twitter. But on Wednesday I want to try making like a little thing where like I try to make a robot based on emojis for funsies. We'll see how that goes. It was Itzel. And on Friday, I have no idea what to stream on Friday. I have 2 games I have in mind. I'm thinking maybe Hypnospace Outlaw or Bug Fables, because I believe Bug Fables is on the Xbox Game Pass, and Discord gave out like a free like trial for the Game Pass, so I have access to a whole bunch of games. So that's something to look forward to. I'll have to like either make a poll or flip a coin to decide which of the 2 games. Bug. I want to play Bug Fables, but the reason I'm hesitant to do that is because that would be another long play. And I imagine Hypnospace won't take as long, so I'm more leaning towards Hypnospace. I feel like I want to play Bug Fables, but I feel like that would also take a while. And I don't want to have 2 long plays. I would probably save it after I finish Ace Attorney. Or maybe I'll just play it a little bit, little by little. But we'll see. Maybe one Friday, one not. sort of like an on and off kind of thing. Like a bi-weekly thing. Yeah, I can make it bi-weekly. Stop trying to kill me! I might do Hypnospace. I'm very much leaning towards Hypnospace because I've seen it. I've seen like bits of it and it looks really good. I love the look of it and I'm leaning towards that. So maybe next Friday I'll try Bug Fables. Bug Fables or Chrono Trigger, whichever of the two. I want to do like, I'll try and see maybe bi-weekly. But without further ado, thank you so much everybody for stopping by. I truly appreciate it. And I'll see you all next time. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye! Bye-bye.